Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wissman.
Thank you for joining us today on another crazy edition of Crime and Sports. We've had some wild ones lately. You can't deny that.
Too much.
Too much. We had Darryl Strawberry last week, which was, 40 years of bonkers. All rolled up into one. And this week, totally different. We have a kind of a completely different thing. We have a guy who is not famous for his sports, really, barely had any, and then he then he did some really awful things. So we'll talk about this. Before we get to this, we got murder this week, Jimmy.
Oh,
we got some murders lined up here. Oh yeah, this is some
plural.
Oh, this is some New Orleans gangland kind of thing here. Yeah. Pretty good stuff here. So very interesting. Before we get to that, very quickly, thank you for everything. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. First of all, get your merch because there's tons of it out there. And second, get your tickets to shows, both live and virtual. Yeah. Oh,
hell yeah.
Hell yes. We have October the 27th, virtual live show for Small Town Murder, Halloween-themed, crazy, weird, spooky murder. You know how it goes. Yeah. We're going to do that, beaming right to wherever you are in the world. A lot of people can't get to us, whether they're out of the country or just not in the city where we're going. So please come out, hang out with us, and it's available for a week after that as well. 7 days you can get it for. That is shutupandgivememurder.com or moment.co/Small Town Murder, either one.
Right.
So either place you can get the tickets for that and get your tickets for the actual in-person live shows as well, especially for next week. We are going to be September the 23rd in Tampa at the Tampa Improv. 2 shows for Small Town Murder that night, and those are both different shows, so you can come to both. And then the next night in Orlando at the Orlando Improv on the 24th. Again, 2 shows there. So come out and see us.
Oh, boy.
We cannot wait. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports is where you get all your bonus stuff. So many bonus episodes. And anybody $5 or above, not only are you going to get the entire back catalog of 100-something episodes, you're also going to get new ones every other week. 2 new episodes. Wow. This week for Crime and Sports, we are continuing. I promise this is the last week of it. This was not intentional. We are continuing our sex scandals. Sex Scandals Part 3.
It's too much.
We finish up the Duke list, and we also are going to do a couple other things. Finally, we'll get to Ryan Giggs and his poetry and all that sort of thing as well. It's very crazy. Then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about something really cool. We are going to talk about, because we were discussing this off air a while back, we're going to talk about how there's a bunch of mafia guys who are actually serial killers that go under the radar, under the cloud of it's just business, but they love dismembering people and shitloads of them. Yeah, we're going to talk about mafia serial killers, guys who are just kind of hiding under a sheen of marinara sauce, basically, in plain sight. So that's Patreon.
Under the auspice of the garment district.
That's what it is. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. Everything there. Get it all. And get a shout out at the end of the show.
You bet.
Where Jimmy will mispronounce your name. Or, I was going to say, or your money back, but no. Because he might, if your name's Smith.
No refunds.
No refunds. If your name's Italian, though, he'll fuck it up. I'll tell you that. Or Polish, probably, too. He's not good with
you can do that over
C's and Z's.
You can do that over a PayPal, too, using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com.
Very cool. You can absolutely do that. That said, let's get into this because, wow, is it crazy. So let's talk about him. Okay, first of all, he's got the best name ever, probably, of an athlete that we've ever covered. To have, for a criminal athlete to have the name Nemessis Bates.
What?
His fucking first name is Nemessis.
We all should have known.
Nemessis is what his mom named him. But it's Nemessis. Okay, so that's
she just put an extra S in it
for savings, Jimmy. She added an extra S for savings rather than taking one off. I don't understand Nemesis. Let's name our child Nemesis. Okay,
name Bates. Our child bad guy.
Yeah, and Nemesis Bates sounds like if there's
a bad guy named Bates, for Christ's sake.
If there's a movie and the villain's name is Nemesis Bates, I'm fucking turning it off because that's too over the top, right? That's on the nose.
Yeah, how Norman's mom didn't pick that first go, I don't know.
I don't understand. Yeah, how about Nemesis? That'll be good for you. But it's always claimed, and it must be true because it's since high school, they always make sure to say the pronunciation of it isn't Nemesis, it's Nemessis.
Okay.
Which
I don't believe you.
What difference? Why? What? Why? Yeah. How is Nemessis better? I don't understand it. But either way, from a very young age, he goes by a nickname. Because when your name's Nemesis or Nemessis, which is even worse, the kid's going to call you Nemi. That's a bad nickname. Sissy is the other option. Not good either.
Names? I don't know.
Not great. He goes
N-word?
by... Yo, N-word. That's not good either.
No.
He picks a different N-word as his nickname, though. He picks Nemo, which... Having no...
What?
Yes. Nemo.
When was he born?
That's what I mean. No, we're talking. This is in the 90s, Jimmy. He's born in 1977. So,
oh no,
yeah, he's Nemo from the 80s and 90s,
which probably sounded tough and cool back then.
Yeah, Nemo.
Around 2004, it was all ruined.
A fish with a bad fin, a tiny, weak fish with a bad fin. That's terrible, isn't it, for this guy?
A kid with a genetic disorder.
It makes sense if his name is Nemesis to call him Nemo,
Right.
Nemo, I guess that's better than Nemi. So, Nemo.
It's essentially going after the whole, like, Gino or...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everything with the O. Jimbo, fucking Gino, this one.
Yeah.
Everything's got an O on it. He's Nemo. That's exactly what it is. So,
It's
goes
not bad
by Nemo.
Until Disney fucked it all up.
And he was like, first time he saw that commercial, he was just sitting there. Picture him just sitting there smoking a blunt, just blowing it out, being like, yeah, whatever. And then they go, Pixar presents. And he goes, what's this motherfucking fish doing? And he's like smoking, and then they're like, Finding Nemo. And he's like, fuck.
Oh, no. Oh, my life is ruined.
Street cred over. Fuck me. Well, let me find a woman named Dory and retire to the suburbs because I'm fucked here. He's born in Vicksburg, Mississippi. That's where he's from. But from a pretty early age, I don't know exactly when, but childhood. I could have made up a backstory here, but I'm going to spare you that. They moved to New Orleans. That's where he grows up. And he ends up going to St. Augustine High School, which is in New Orleans. And from when I was looking it up here, it's got a lot going on for it here.
Nice place?
They seem to have a lot of shit going on, from what I understand. Like in schools, like in sports even. They were in 1995, when Nemessis is a senior, when Nemo is a senior, they are the USA Today national champions of basketball. Oh. So they're the fucking best high school basketball team in the entire United States that year.
5A? Is that like the big school?
Yeah, 5A, class 5A. Yeah, they're
how about that?
USA. I mean, they're the best high school basketball team in the United States. So a lot of athletes here is what we're getting at. So
is there 6A now? Because they go off a population. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so if you're in a big school and you're the best athlete there, like it's even more impressive because you had a lot of competition to get there. So I think there's a 6A now, which means those schools have to be fucking insane.
12,000 people there.
Yeah. It's like a college.
It's a city. Yeah, it's basically a small city where they a tight. It's because
5A
prison.
I think was capped at like 5,000, which would it goes. I think it goes by the thousands.
Anything about high school sports because they're the worst thing in the world to watch. It's
that
terrible.
Can't be it because I think it was 2,000 at my high school. Right? I think that's right. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. The point is, I think there's 6A now, which is a little bit more impressive. Even still, 5A I think was the biggest then.
This shows you that Jimmy's not a pedophile because Not
I don't
everyone
give a fuck about high school.
Not everyone that knows about children's sports is a pedophile, but everyone who's a pedophile certainly knows about children's sports. Well, there's a 6A that goes up to this, and they know about weight classes and age requirements and all sorts of weird shit that you don't know about, so I'm impressed. Good job, Jimmy.
I swear I've heard of 6A. If that's true, that's got to be crazy.
That seems like a lot, but here, these guys, I mean, this was his senior year. They're the best basketball team in the entire country. So
wow.
Competitive.
Not
Louisiana, not New Orleans. This is the
right.
entire United States in 1995 too. So I mean, I know Kobe Bryant was in high school then, and there's a lot of guys that Kevin Garnett just come out at that point. So there's a lot of, that's a big time for high school basketball. So this school, you want to talk about some competition on the athletic teams. I mean, you don't just walk onto the team and go, I think I'm going to play sports this year. You got to be a fucking player to do this, man. They're tough. And they also won Louisiana championships in football in 75, 78, and 79. So not too bad at all. The school was there's a movie called Passing Glory, which is, when is this from? It's from 1999. They made it as a TNT movie, and it was about this school playing in the first integrated game in New Orleans history in 1965.
Really?
Yeah. So that's what goes on here. Looking at their alumni, too. I mean, Jesus Christ. Just to stick to sports, guys like Derek Rogers, Leonard Fournette went here. Like a lot of different guys. What's his name?
Fournette?
Fournette. What did I say? Fortunate? Okay. I was looking at somebody else. There's a list of 1 million people that I'm scanning through in front of me, and I'm like, so guys like that.
It's from there, huh?
Yeah, all sorts of guys. What's his name? The Honey Badger guy, he's from there.
Oh.
He went there. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis played here, who's the Patriots running back for a long time. Carl Weathers played here.
No kidding.
Carl Weathers, Action Jackson himself. Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed. Fucking also played in the NFL briefly, but he went to this school as well. So lots of people went to this. Donald Royal, remember him for the Magic? These are a lot of good players, and there's so many.
Donald Royal had a great flat top.
Fuck, man, he was a great player. He was a guy who, what was he, like a CBA guy that caught on and just worked his way into the lineup just based on.
And then was a fucking starter.
He's so awesome. He's just so good. He just seemed like it was all will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's heart, man.
That dude's got a lot of heart. But there's so many guys you've never heard of that played too. Malcolm Scott, Harold's, Raynoch Thompson. I've actually heard him for the Cardinals. A bunch of guys like that are all over the place. Coaches, Leroy Horde, the old Browns running back and Cleveland Browns and Vikings running back. Tons of people went here, basically. So very, very, very competitive is what I'm getting at for sports. And he doesn't play football until his senior year, Nemo.
Is that right?
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't know what.
Did he play any sports?
Well, I know he was a track star as well because he's 5'10", 190. He's a speed guy. He's a wide receiver. And so I know he was a track guy too, but I don't know if he was running track before that, then just decided to play football or I don't know what it is, but he's so athletic. He's on the team even though he hasn't been playing high school football, which is saying something.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. He does very well. He does so well that he's recruited for college already after 1 year, which is difficult because they start recruiting usually when you're a junior.
Colleges have heard of you when you do well in one season last season. That's great.
It's also at this school, every scout for every sport comes to this school. So if you're half decent, you're getting seen by everybody because they're the best high school basketball team in the country is at your school. So they know to come here for athletes. So he decides that he wants to go to Southern University, the Jaguars. Southern, which is he's going to go there.
Is it in Louisiana?
Yeah, no. Oh shit, is that in Louisiana or is it in? I don't remember. Either way, it's Southern.
Yeah.
It's
in the South.
Yeah. It's one of the historically black schools down there. They play Grambling all the time and that sort of shit. So they're in that. The SWAC is their conference.
SWAC.
Yeah, the SWAC. SWAC sounds like a good.
It does.
That's a good. It sounds like pads hitting each other in football. It's a good name for a conference. SWAC. So he decides he's going to go there, but LSU said, let us give you one chance to change your mind, LSU. So come on a visit to LSU. Now, if you've seen any movie about some like corrupt college football program or any kind of movie about college football, you know what these recruiting visits are all about. They pick you up and they take you and they throw like
get you late.
8 naked cheerleaders on you, throw a bottle of booze down your throat, drive you around the town. Everybody kisses your ass. They take you to the stadium and they have the announcer do like a fucking recording of you, and they do all that bullshit.
It's a big deal.
It's a lot. It's a lot to resist.
There's a bunch of shit that will never happen again after that.
No one will ever be as nice to you again. Unless you're a star. Then they'll be way nicer. Then there'll be 18 girls trying to blow you, not just 8.
Right. We just did this for 89 other guys.
Yeah. A few of them are coming, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see where you fit in. But they do these recruiting visits. I don't know how the fucking 18-year-old kid could go somewhere and have their ass overwhelmingly kissed, not only by adults, but also by like an institution, and then a bunch of peers who are not even really peers because they're way cooler than you because they play college sports and they know the girls that they're bringing to you. You know, like how cool are they?
Yeah.
They know everybody. Like, you know, like I don't know how you'd resist that as an 18-year-old. They'd be like, wow, they think I'm cool too. I didn't have that kind of self-awareness at 18 to the first people that would have been nice to me, I was going there, period.
I was barely comfortable at a high school party where everybody was the same.
That's what I mean. To go to that sort of thing, I'd be like, whoa, this is fucking crazy.
This is adult stuff. This is intense.
Crazy shit. So either way, he ends up going to LSU for this visit, and after this visit, he said, I changed my mind. I'm going to LSU.
I'll be a Tiger.
That was pretty awesome. And I guess one of his teammates was Raynoch Thompson, the guy who ends up playing for the Cardinals later on. He ends up going to, where'd he go, Tennessee, and all this sort of shit. So either way, he comes out of St. Augustine, and they said that LSU, like all the pub about him was like, we got this speedy kid coming out of St. Augustine. This guy's the shit. And, they thought he was going to be something. They really did. And not only that, he is apparently St. Augustine for some reason, and they're as I've given you all these names, and there was a million more, they're a football powerhouse, like producing players. So
really?
Yeah, it helps. All of these colleges, they try to have pipelines to high schools. All the college coaches try to have good relationships with the high school coaches so they can get in, learn more about the kids, and have an in. If a high school a lot of times these high school coaches have a lot of influence over these kids. They do. Yeah. And they don't know anything. They're kids. They're children. They don't know about how to navigate all this shit. They go, hey, coach, do you know anything about this guy? Do you know what's up with this program? Where I would fit in better? And if that coach goes, I'm telling you, only place for you is LSU, kid. You're making a big mistake if you don't go to LSU. That sticks in a kid's mind a lot. So the problem here is nobody from St. Augustine had gone to LSU since 1987.
Oh, wow.
And this is 1995. So
we're almost a decade.
Yeah, there's beef here. A top football talent producing school, there's a problem with this. Like, I don't know what it is, but we never...
They got Honey Badger in there, too, shortly thereafter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
same thing. So that's what they're talking about, is that now it's like Nemessis is the first one to...
the door.
He's the first one to sign on from that high school since 87, so he kind of opened the floodgates here. And their coach said, quote, Nemesis Bates is Nemo, we'll just say, is an outstanding wide receiver. We think he can come in here and play. If you look at the past numbers, St. Aug graduates have not picked LSU for a number of reasons. Our staff has extended itself to St. Aug. We recruited 3 players and got 1. There's disappointment in the players you don't get, but you can't worry about the ones you lose because you can't get them all. And they said they were trying to get the quarterback, and they couldn't get the quarterback from St. Augustine, but they got Nemo, so they're thrilled with that. So 1996 LSU, the Tigers here, they go 10-2 that year.
Not bad,
not too shabby. Which is for college. They're 12th in the final AP poll. That's pretty
great.
good. They did go to a bowl that year, playing Clemson in the Peach Bowl. I don't even.
Up in Georgia, I imagine.
It would make sense. I mean, who knows? So they play the Peach Bowl, and they win 10-7 against Clemson.
How about that
year?
That's a defensive war.
Jesus,
that's great.
yeah. Maybe it was bad weather. You could see it being rainy.
Or just no catches.
Yeah, nobody's that good, maybe. That's all it is. College
Bunch
game.
of drops.
College game. Kind of thing.
Yeah, drops and fumbles.
Drops and fumbles. And who knows if it was like an artificial turf with rain kind of a day where like the ball floats away when it lands. Remember those games? Before they went to before they went to that squishy turf they have now that's more like grass, they had carpet. Yeah. And if it rained too much, it would just be a river. And it would just sit on top. I used to love that, though, in football. You'd see a guy go down and he would just hydroplane for like 14 yards.
20 yards.
Yeah. That was awesome with like the big, it looked like he was on a jet ski, the fucking, the wake behind him. Yeah, it was awesome. That was so much fun to watch. I miss those games. You don't get that anymore.
But it was a rooster tail both directions because He's
it was just,
chomping up water from the front.
It looked like he was hitting a slip and slide every time. Water flying, he's going.
Pretty amazing.
Remember, what's that Necessary Roughness where he did that? Down to the 12, but he hydroplanes to the 4 or whatever it was. I don't remember what the hell he was saying. Yeah. So that year, Nemo plays in 5 games. He's a freshman. He's a true freshman. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing that he's playing. He's not even redshirted. Right. So they must have really, really, really had high hopes for his athletic ability. If he has 1 year of high school football experience, and they're like, nope, you're playing this year. You're not even going to redshirt.
You're in.
So,
second year of playing organized football. He's freshman of a college team.
He's playing for fucking Nick Saban. I mean, that's
right.
He's playing.
He's playing for the Tigers.
This is a big deal, no shit program. This isn't bullshit here.
A band is playing every day when you're on the field. That's incredible.
They're also still basking in the glow of having Shaquille O'Neal 4 years ago. They're like, we had Shaq, like, haha. Look at
there
us.
are cameras here today because of that.
Yeah, you know that. So, but they've always been a pretty good football school, LSU. So he plays in 5 games, only has 5 receptions, but 5 receptions for 98 yards. That's averaging
20.
Yeah, averaging 19.6 per. So that means he's
impressive.
He's a threat. He's a deep threat.
Yep.
That's good with his speed. He's got to have off the chart speed. This guy. I don't have his.
It's got to be crazy.
You'll find out why, but I don't have any combine stats on him for a certain reason. So, 1997 LSU, they are 9-3. So 1 game worse. They do go. They do go to a bowl though. Still, they go and play against Notre Dame, and the Independence Bowl. And they win 27-9. So
that's so great.
That's a shit bowl, but that's a bowl that people would watch because it's Notre Dame and LSU, and those are 2 popular teams.
It's
so
2 names.
You'd watch that. So even in a shit bowl, the Independence Bowl, good pull for them that year. Not bad.
Sure.
So
he's playing at LSU, which is a big deal in the first place. But he's playing in his first 2 years. He's played in 2 bowl games against Clemson and Notre Dame. That's crazy.
It's fucking insane. So 1997, that year, he only plays in 5 games again.
Oh.
He only has 2 receptions this year, which is pretty wild. 28 yards receiving total, but he has a touchdown. So that's helpful. I mean, that's good. Yeah. Touchdowns are good. They win games. So, but he hasn't like broken in.
He's not integral to the team.
No, not at all. Yeah, they could take him or leave him at this point. So 1998, he's a junior. Now you'd expect him to kind of break in. The problem also is this is a very this isn't Nick Saban yet. This is Jerry DiNardo, by the way. This is the coach here. This is, I think, the guy who got shit canned for Nick Saban, probably.
Predecessor?
Yeah, I think so. So 1998, they go 4-7, which is probably what got him fired.
Oh, boy.
And this is a real ground and pound team. This is not an aerial team. It's not an entertaining team like that. So if you're
sounds awful.
If you're a wide receiver, that means you're just running a lot of routes for no reason. You're blocking a lot.
Exhausted and pissed.
You're not catching a lot of balls. That's tough.
And going 4-7? Is that what you said?
Yeah, and going 4-7. No ball. No nothing.
Yeah.
He only plays in 2 games that year. 2 games Nemo does. 1 reception.
Oh, boy.
1 reception for 12 yards. That's his whole.
If this is the NFL, they're about to fire him.
That's not great. So he decides that he is going to transfer.
Oh.
He ends up transferring. here. Now, this is the weird thing that I don't understand, is normally when you transfer, you have to sit out a year. That's the rule. But he transfers to Southern, which was his first choice, because they have a more wide open offense, and he's like, that sounds like fucking fun. A couple people actually this year transfer from LSU to Southern.
Really?
Yeah, because of the offense is so boring at LSU back then. So he transfers to Southern, and before you know it, before the end of the first training camp there, he's the starting wide receiver.
Holy shit.
Look at that. Starting wide receiver on a team that likes to throw the ball. So, I mean, now you're talking, hey, people are going to fucking see me. This is great. He wants to be in the NFL. So, and honestly, to get seen by the NFL back then, or even now, if you have a 4.3 40 or you run a real, that's really all you need. They don't need they'll like, we'll figure that out for a receiver, but you can return punts with that kind of speed, and that's all we care about. So
the guy's caught 8 college footballs so far.
Yeah, and he knows all he has to do is have one decent season with Southern here, and he's on the board. You know, he knows it.
Go.
So this team now wins the starting job. Grace. This is Grace.
Oh, God damn it.
So that should tell you how this works out.
Tell me he's not a national champ.
Well, now the team does great. Team goes 11-2.
Not bad.
Which is tremendous. Problem is, in the second quarter of the season opener, Nemessis breaks his ankle and he's out for the season.
Holy shit, that's horrible.
Doesn't that suck? And this is his senior year. So it's his senior year, so it's not like he got hurt before and he could be like put on it's just his eligibility's over now because this counts as his eligibility because he played in a quarter. So
it's done.
He's fucked. That was it. That's college for him.
No.
He never got a chance to show. He didn't even get to have one game for the NFL as a wide receiver to show him on film. Like, look what I can do.
Yeah.
Nothing. He gets a 1 quarter of play.
He's caught 8 balls.
Yep. So he's sitting there. He's hurt, out for the season. I don't know if something can be done with eligibility with injury if it's that extreme. I'm not sure, but it turns out to not matter very much. Yeah. Because they don't really go out of their way to keep him, as we'll talk about. And now, this is the problem. He's at Walmart, okay?
Yeah.
It's about 10:30 at night there. He's injured. What he does is, anytime where we start a crime story where he's at Walmart, this isn't going to end. Yeah. This isn't going to end in a way that's going to make him look better. It's going to be embarrassing in some way.
Limping down a Walmart aisle.
It's always embarrassing to be arrested at Walmart. We'll put it that way. It's never not embarrassing. It's
embarrassing enough to get out of there legally.
It's what I mean. It's embarrassing just to show up there and need something, but to actually be taken out of there in handcuffs, Walmart doesn't want you, but the police do. Whenever you watch like live PD, when they show up at a Walmart, you're like, oh boy, here we go. You know it's some weird shit's going to happen.
It's super grimy.
You can't even go to Walmart without getting arrested. You can't go to Walmart without getting arrested. You can't dig through the $5 DVD bin just to get your energy out. You know what I mean? Just something. You have to get arrested.
You can't walk out of there with the gray bag with a smile on it. Come on, man. Just shit together.
Jesus. Now, keep in mind, this is 1999, mind you, okay? Yeah. This isn't fucking 1989. So this is what makes the crime even stupider and dumber. He grabs a box fan. You know what I mean? Just a regular fan that's, you know what I'm talking about.
Shitty fans that sit on the floor.
Yep, shitty fan. We've all had a bad fan. Yep. He grabs a bad fan, okay? Opens up the box to the bad fan, takes the shitty box fan out. And this,
takes the shitty fan out.
It's a $14 fan or something.
I want the box, not the fan.
Puts that, behind the other boxes. Takes the box, okay, the shitty fan box. Inside of the box, he puts a VCR.
Okay.
In 1999. Now, in 1999... Now it sounds ridiculous, but it was DVDs. No one wanted VHS anymore in 1999. Yeah, right. You wanted the menu and special features. You wanted nothing to do with this fucking VHS garbage anymore.
At minimum, you want the combo, the DVD and VHS.
That was ideal if you had that.
That's the hot shit. Because you've got all these fucking tapes on the shelf. What am I going to do with these?
He said, I want this VCR. Yeah. And he stuffs it in the fan box, takes it up to the register. They scan it, and he pays for the fan.
1995.
Yeah, whatever it is, 1995, and then fucking walks out. okay? Yeah. And then the police are called and security comes and they open up his fan box and he's got a fucking VCR in there and they're like, what are you, a fucking moron?
Is that a Panasonic?
Yeah. You got a bright yellow LSU shirt on and a fucking pronounced limp. And we're like, we're not going to notice you, you dumb shit. Yeah. Exchanging things in boxes. Kind of you took two different things out of boxes and then put them in boxes and you don't work here. So suspicious.
And in 99, there are so many cameras in all of these places.
Yeah, at a Walmart, they're everywhere. Every inch of a Walmart's covered in a camera since 99.
Granted,
obviously.
It's 20 years later, but I went to the store the other day to a Target to get my son some bullshit in the electronics department, like a cord or whatever. There's nobody in there. We're wandering, looking in aisles.
Oh yeah,
and then somebody magically turns up that wasn't even in the department, and he goes, "I saw you guys on the camera. Do you need help?" And I was, oh my God, that's how close you pay attention to that shit?
That's how they monitor it. Oh, there's someone in there, sort of. Go check it out.
Let's go check on them. Make sure they're not putting Panasonic VCRs in a box fan.
They might as well have just put over the prices. Just go online. It's easier.
Why are you here?
There's no one to help you when you don't know what you're doing. At least online you can look shit up.
Over the price tags. Go home. Yeah. We'll bring it to you.
Yeah, just go home. Target.com. This isn't a real store. This is like just have the store just be like a virtual reality store at this point. If you're not going to staff it,
the store's just here for you to come here and see if it fits on your shelf.
That's
you
all.
can measure it.
You can look at it and go, oh, look at that. Yeah, that's about how what I thought it looked like.
We'll order.
Yeah, I'm going to order that. Great. I'd buy it, but there's no one here to. There's somebody in the back.
Of course not. This isn't real.
Either that or if you need help, wave at the cameras. Have that sign there. Wave at camera. Have one particular
Two hand waves. Yeah.
That means, one of these.
Like you're bringing a plane in.
One of these means fucking
need help.
Come on out and help me.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
So the Southern doesn't know what to do with him because they're like, okay, he just got here, wins the starting receiver job, gets hurt, and now a month later he's arrested
VCRs
for shit that just looks bad on the program. That's just really cheesy. You know what I mean?
It's a bad caper. It really is.
It just makes you look dumb. It's not helpful. It doesn't make the
I want this VCR,
good.
But I'm willing to pay box fan prices for it.
I'll only pay for a box fan. Yeah, I'm looking for bargain basement box fan prices here. Jeez, you got the worst fan they had too. Yeah, the cheapest one because it's
$19.
And being the similar size of a VCR, probably he thought about this at home. This was his caper. Think about that. This isn't.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You think a box fan is the same size?
No, similar. It's similar. A VCR will fit inside of a box fan box.
Oh, it'll fit.
That's all I
you
mean.
could take the whole box of a VCR
and
throw
put it
it
in the box
Okay,
fan
I
box.
thought you meant
not the
like,
same size, but they're one fits inside the other. It's not like they're the same shape. Mainly is what it is. So one's bigger, that's what makes it great. One's smaller, one's bigger, same shape. It's not like one's a ball and one's a square. You know what I mean? That would be difficult.
Right. With all the foam inside the box of the VCR, that box is the same size as the box fan, slides right inside a box fan's box.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like, this guy thought about it at home. He was like, God, this fucking VCR eats tapes. He's like, this thing's a piece of shit.
Need a new
Thing
VCR,
sucks,
but
man.
I'm not paying.
Yeah, I'm broke, man. I don't have any money for a new VCR.
You seen the way technology's going? It's going to be DVDs in a minute.
Well, he glanced longingly over to his window to stare out of it as the box fan twirled. As it spun, he looked deep in and it mesmerized him, and he said, I got an idea.
You think he's got the box fan in place of the window and then shuts the window?
Yeah. Obviously,
of course
to suck the hot air out.
That's how I did it.
Yeah, that's what you do. Well, it's for him. It's just to get all the weed smoke out of the house, probably, I'd imagine.
And then you flip it around at night and bring that
cool air in.
inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We've all done that in our histories. Jesus Christ, you kidding me? You definitely want to suck that air in.
Yes, sir. That is Trailer Park AC, babe.
You know it, yeah. It's just, or a lot of the Northeast, just nobody has AC, whether you live in a trailer or not.
Yeah.
Especially when we grew up, we didn't.
In the Southwest, that's just trash people did.
Yeah, definitely. But like when we moved out there, we still did that shit because that's what we just thought you did.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're like, oh, this doesn't work.
No, it really didn't, actually.
Oh, I'm dying.
This isn't good. Fuck.
I feel like I'm cooking. That's what it feels like.
Oh, no.
Now it just feels like in a convection oven. This isn't good.
This is it's just spinning the hot air. And then there's a ceiling fan pushing it down, too.
Pushing it right the fuck down.
Come in and down. You're just, whoa. Eyes
God,
so dry all the time. That's the thing about Arizona out there. Your eyes are
keep
just,
your mouth closed. Yeah.
Every room has a ceiling fan on high in all seasons. That's the thing. In winter it just goes the opposite direction, but your eyes are always burning and dry, and there's
constantly with hot dry air pushed into your face.
Constantly. Outside, inside. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
At some point I was just like, just with the wind, I can't take it anymore. Just want it to be still for a moment. I want to not hear for a second.
That's awful too, man. The nighttime trying to sleep and there's just a constant hum and a constant.
Yeah. Or if you have one of those fans where the string thing clacks against the glass. Tink, and you're like, ah! But it only does it sometimes for some reason.
Yeah.
How is the fan working differently now than it did earlier today and then it will tomorrow? How does that work?
Because you need it quiet right now.
Science.
You need it.
How many people have like a scrunchie or some shit wrapped around the pull string with the wooden tab? Every single fucking person has that in case it clank, 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 clank.
It seems to be perfectly balanced all day
fine.
long.
Yeah.
It doesn't
night,
sway at all.
All fucked up. What has changed? And then it goes back to normal again. How? It's on the same speed. What the fuck is happening?
Temperature dropped 5 degrees.
Jesus Christ.
Now it's all a mess.
He's wanted for a high-class, cat burglary of sorts here, this VCR caper. December of 2000, so this lingers for over a year. Basically, Southern lets it linger till he's not in the school anymore. That's how it works here. To where he finally pleads guilty to this. He has to plead guilty. I mean, he's on film. Fucking.
What are you going to do?
Here's you putting a VCR in a fan box, dipshit.
And then you paid for a fan.
Yeah, there you go. The receipt says you paid for a fan, dummy. So he pleads guilty to misdemeanor theft for removing the fan from the box and blah, blah, blah. The judge, this is his sentence. Here we go. He says, Nemessis, Nemo, he says he just wants to put this all behind him. He's very embarrassed by it. It doesn't represent him, the university, or his family, for that matter, well. And he's disappointed in himself, and he'd just like to move on. Thank you. The judge says, you, sir, may fuck off. 20 hours of community service, number one. And if this isn't the most treat him like a 12-year-old thing ever, he's 22 years old at this point.
Yeah.
And he must write a, quote, 5-page essay 5-page. What is he, in 10th grade? Is he a sophomore? On the consequences of his actions.
Cite your sources, motherfucker.
What consequences? There are no.
He said nothing.
There's other than the fact that he's a dipshit and everyone made fun of him at school. Probably called him, he was fan guy for the rest of the season.
And 2 8-hour shifts and a half day, he can erase the penalty entirely.
Now write about that. You write about that. God damn it.
I went to St. Vincent de Paul and I didn't get paid.
I didn't get shit. So he seems to be out of football for 2000 and 2001. There doesn't seem to be. I can't find any football of him. The NFL obviously not interested in a guy they've never seen play and who steals fucking VCRs. This is just not. There's not a lot attracting him to the league at this point. So
the lack of playing time alone makes the NFL, even if they heard of him, a little questionable.
It's tough.
And then they hear you'd caught 8 balls and stole a VCR on the auspice of a ceiling fan purchase. No, thank you.
And you're coming off an ankle injury, too. So it's like, strike 3. Goodbye.
We got Pop Warner players with more potential. Goodbye.
Yeah, this isn't great. So he wants to try to get his way back into some kind of football so he can get some film on him and maybe get a tryout. You never know. That's the thing about the NFL. If you can, like I said, if you run a sub 4.40, you can just get a tryout. That's all you need. You just have to do that. And then
plenty of dudes undrafted.
You'll have plenty of brain damage in 10 years, and your life will be wonderful. 10 years, you'll have a limp and won't remember your kids' names, and it's going to be wonderful. You will be broke, though, so that's good.
Oh, you'll be broke.
You'll be awfully broke.
You'll have the hips of a 14-year-old German Shepherd. But listen, you will have those glory days of having an NFL logo on the side of your head.
And good news is you won't be able to afford to go get much medical care for it. So that's the good news.
Hope your wife has insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Hope your wife has a decent job. She's going to need one.
Put up with you pissing your pants in your 50s.
Well, that's after you try to stab her as well, too. So it's, that's every time you try to stab her, you pee your pants. It's a weird thing. So then she has to help you. It's very awkward. That's what happens. So 2002, he catches on with a football team.
Oh.
All right. Where do you think he's playing, Jimmy?
Oh, is it the USFL, James?
No, that's not around anymore. Is
it the arena? Is it arena football?
That wasn't around from 86 to now to last year. No, no, not arena football. Think smaller than arena football. Arena football would be a grand stage compared to this.
Yeah. Is he playing a beer league?
This is the National Indoor Football League, which is arena football.
Yeah. For nobody.
The B arena football. I saw pictures of these games. The fucking stands, arena leagues, they play in a basketball arena.
Yeah,
there's 15,000 seats, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
This looks like they're at like a roller derby arena, like that level,
community center.
That level of seats that has like 15 rows of seats that go around the thing. Like that's what it looks like. There's high school games in Texas that have 20 times more people there by far.
Oh no.
He plays for the Houma. Remember we did Houma, Louisiana on Small Town Murder, south of New Orleans, way down there. The Houma Bayou Bucks.
Oh my God.
And it's like a buck, like a deer, big fucking antlers and shit. That's their logo. The Bayou Bucks. Yeah.
Jesus.
Now, a little about the National Indoor Football League because, come on, they just wanted to have NFL in their title, so they're the NIFL.
Yeah.
We're just like them, but indoor. They should really be called the NOFL. And that way there's a differentiation because some of their teams play in domes and we feel like it's a crossover and they're stepping on our feet. So they had, Jesus Christ, their goal was, for the first few years at least, was to have teams in markets not covered by the Arena League or the AF2, which is the Arena League, minor, junior. So that's a lot here. There's not a lot left at that point. You know what I mean? So
yeah, sure.
They had a bunch of different guys here. The Packers had what is this? Oh, the Bills had Fred Jackson. The one team got Fred Jackson of the Bills after he was done. Who else here? Jesus. Oh, Bam Morris was on was on one of these teams. Yeah, so I
loved him.
Yeah, the Steelers, he was great.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea, here are teams that left the NIFL to join or wanted to join another league and didn't. Okay, here we go. The Beaumont Drillers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Texas.
The Evansville Blue Cats.
Yikes.
They joined the United Indoor Football League and then folded the next year. The Everett Hawks, who joined the AF2 League. The Fayetteville Guard moved to the American Indoor Football Association, which is also fall. Did you know any of these leagues existed?
No,
anyone out there
in
crime and sports land? Anybody have any fucking idea that this happens?
I can't believe this at all.
That on a regular basis, that people were going to watch the Fort Wayne Freedom? Or the Green.
It's not good.
No.
You have done terrible with your marketing. If you're a part of this, you failed.
How do you advertise this, though? You like football? Yeah, well,
here's something that's nothing like
what do you like on Sundays? You like that football? Yeah, well, that football's pretty good, but take it down a notch. What do you think of college football? That's not bad either, right? That's okay.
Saturday's a good day.
It's a good day. How about arena football? That's a lot of excitement packed into a small package. You're going to like that.
It's not bad.
How about the guys who couldn't make the arena league? Huh? Where do they go? Well, you know what they are? They're hungry. They're passionate. They're ready to kill for a spot.
Every Wednesday night.
Every Wednesday night right after karaoke. Like there's a karaoke to draw people, and then they stay for the football game. That's how they try to do it.
Right after drag queen bingo.
Oh no, they can't draw like drag queen
That's
bingo.
That's why drag queen bingo is there to pack the house.
That's its own night, though. That takes longer. That is the game. You know what I mean? Compared to this, this is a fucking disaster.
What time does it start? Depends on when drag queen bingo ends.
We don't know. Whenever it ends, guys, just keep stretching. Keep jogging in place, assholes. That's what we're telling you right now.
More jumping jacks, fucker.
Calisthenics, let's go. We don't know, anywhere from 10 to midnight. It's a party.
Tragique said there's one more round. I don't know.
It could go to sudden death. What are you asking me for?
There are dildos at play here.
First of all, yeah. Well, then there's going to be a 20-minute break for makeup upkeep. That's going to be a thing. There's a stop. Everybody stops for that, and then we go back. So it could go theoretically. We don't know, but it's okay. So the Katy Copperheads,
Katy, Texas,
who then moved to the AF2, the Arena Football League 2, as the Texas.
The AF2.
AF2. That's what I mean. The Arena League already has a minor league.
Right.
There's no more need for indoor football leagues. And I've seen the United Football League, the Indoor Football League, the American Indoor Football Association. Too many fucking indoor football leagues. These are all going on at the same time because Arena League had a touch of success. So they were like, well, that's what people want to see. They want to see football inside.
No, we don't. We just want football all the time.
Yeah, that's what people want. The Lexington Horsemen, that's because they only got large penised men. That was the tryout. You got to have a certain something to be a horseman. No, we're actual horsemen here. They joined the United Indoor Football League, the Montgomery Maulers, the Odessa Roughnecks, the Ohio Valley Greyhounds. Greyhounds are not they're
Ohio Valley?
Ohio Valley. The Ohio Valley is Kentucky and all that shit. That's to include.
Where the fuck do they play?
Everything.
Somewhere in the Ohio Valley.
That's the beauty of it. They probably have a bunch of different places they play because where are you going to play? They moved to the Indoor Football League. The Omaha Beef. The Omaha Beef. Just beef.
I don't, like ground or
they're
like
all beef.
We're angry.
Yeah.
We got an argument around here.
Well, beef to me says it's already. Yeah, we got beef. To me, it says they're already dead and just laying there.
Yeah.
That's not great.
That sounds delicious.
They moved to the Champions Indoor Football League, another one. Then there's a World Indoor Football League as well. The Osceola Football. That's their name. Osceola Football.
We are football.
We are the football. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, boy. They're out. They're out of ideas, James.
Well, they turned into the Ghost Riders after they moved to the World Indoor Football League. The River City Rage, the Rome Renegades, I assume Rome, Georgia, San Angelo Stampede, the San Diego Shockwave as well. They had you're lucky if you get to play there.
There was a shitload of Texas teams.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
Christ.
They love football. Think about 15,000 people go to high school games. They're like, we can't be worse than that, right? Yeah. Come on, everybody.
We're adults.
Shit, we're adults. Sioux City Bandits, the Sioux Falls Storm, the the Tri-City Fever, the Tupelo Fire Ants, the Wyoming Cavalry. These are
the Fire Ants. That's great.
Tupelo Fire Ants. And they joined the United Indoor Football. Not even league, just United Indoor Football, the UIF. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
There's too much. It's exhausting.
So the Bayou Bucks here, they were only around for 3 seasons. They played at the Houma Terrebonne Civic Center in Houma, Louisiana. Jesus, gold, green, and white, Mardi Gras kind of colors. Where's purple? I don't know where that is, but either way, after 2004, the parent company of the Bucks football team filed a lawsuit against the parish down there, against the government, accusing that it's a long fucking story, but they folded. Let's just put it that way. I would like you to roll your chair over because I would really like to show you a picture of 2 fans at a game.
God,
you can see the background.
Whose tits are out?
No. There's no tits here. Check that out, Jimmy.
Wow.
This is 2 men wearing no shirts with denim overalls with a T on, or was that? It looks like a T for some reason. I don't know what the fuck that's about. I don't know what's that.
The Bucks, the Bayou Bucks.
Maybe maybe those are their Tulane fucking overalls that they just brought here.
Possible.
But they have Bayou Bucks helmets on.
Yeah.
With large antler racks.
With a rack
coming off of them.
They've got a rack on the helmet. They look like remember in Hot Shots, the guy had those on his
yes,
flight helmet?
Yeah, that is what and then look in the background. That's the stands from here to here.
Wow.
It's just in
it's 8 rows.
It's like a high school gym, basically, that they've put down. See, look, there's people in folding chairs on this side.
Sure are. We have better accommodations at our shows.
Oh, by far. Jesus, we play at nice theaters. They wouldn't have this garbage in their fucking place.
That is crazy.
Jesus Christ, what a fucking
That's
mess.
what's in the stands, quote unquote stands.
Yeah.
That's what's in the folding chairs for these fucking games.
Getting seats, butts and folding chairs, everybody.
And it's not even on like a stadium seating. Those things are just flat. So that guy's fucking rack is keeping me from seeing the goddamn game.
On the one side, they're like bleachered. They're up. But on the other side here, it just looks like
flat.
There doesn't even look like there's assigned seating. It just looks like you pull up a folding chair and put it where there's nobody else, and you watch this garbage unfold.
Those helmets would be rad if you could put like a beer can in each side and then run a little straw down to your mouth.
Oh, well, I assume after you finish a beer, you just stab it through one of the antlers and leave it up there.
Stick it through.
Yeah, if you're an 8-pointer, you're like, that's you got 8 beers.
Fucking 8 beers today.
That means it's time to go home at that point. When your antlers are full, it's time to go home. It reminds you how many you've had. It helps. So I found this article from when they were kicking off originally the Houma here, and I just thought this was hilarious to read. It's from March of 2002. Are you ready for some football? Yes.
You can't say that.
Yes, it's in the newspaper. It's an article.
Yeah.
Yes, in March. We're going to play it in March. The Houma Bayou Bucks begin their inaugural season in the National Indoor Football League Saturday night. Jesus Christ. The Bucks feature, quote, a cluster of semi-pro football players from around the state who have played at Louisiana high schools and college universities. On the team, Herb Tyler, former quarterback for LSU, that was actually the quarterback while Nemessis was at LSU.
That's who they were. Okay.
That's who he was, the quarterback there. And Nemessis Bates. So, yeah, he's on there. They're all excited about it. He's one of the people. Now, here we go. The Bucks will have 7 home games this season with ticket information as follows. Want to see what it costs to go to one of these games?
Can I guess?
Please.
Is it $550?
No, actually, it's more than that to go to an individual game.
Oh, yeah, bro. I'll bet it's $17, $18, right, for cheap tickets?
You're right in the middle. That's the middle ground here. Individual tickets range from $12.50 to $22.50. Okay, now season tickets for Section A are $140, Section B $105, Section C $70. So you can get $10 a game, really, if you...
That's amazing.
Want to sit there. Yeah, pretty fucking not too shabby. Their schedule, Jesus Christ, I found. They played the Tupelo Fire Ants. They played the Mississippi Fire Dogs. There's Fire Dogs and Fire Ants.
And what the fuck is a fire dog?
I don't know what a fire dog is. Also, the Lake Charles Land Sharks. There's that you got to have there. Now, I found here one of the games. Nemesis apparently caught a 24-year-old touch. 24-year-old. He caught a 24. He's 24 at that point. He caught a 24-yard touchdown pass here, so that was good. And he scored a touchdown in one game. I found their schedule and what happened in their schedule, and they seem to lose a lot. By the way, they lost. They lost one game, 81-64.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's a game playing the Winston-Salem Energy. Canceled in the third quarter due to a fight, it says. So
no punches thrown and we quit.
I had to find what the fuck happened there. So I found the backstory of what kind of a fight could cancel a football game midway through it.
Weapons had to be drawn, right?
It had to be, what was it, Aqib Talib coaching one of these teams?
Right.
What happened?
There's no way to quell this fight long enough to finish the rest of it?
Absolutely not. This, by the way, came 1 week after co-owners of the Louisiana Rangers, guys who were on the same team, wound up throwing punches after their game with the Lake Charles Land Sharks.
Wow.
They didn't fight with the other team. They fought each other on the field.
The owners boxed each other.
This is the kind of cool shit that's going on in this league. Maybe we should have known about it. Here's the article. What started Saturday as a typical night of indoor football at the home of Terrebonne Civic Center turned into a wild melee that resulted in the game's cancellation and the possible pending arrests of a fan and a player. This is awesome. Arrests. With 27 seconds left in the third quarter of the Homa Bayou Bucks game against the visiting Winston-Salem Energy, the two teams, who had come close to trading blows on several occasions earlier in the game, erupted in a wild fight on the southwest sideline of the Civic Center. Jesus Christ. The incident even spilled into the stands. And this is like a couple years before the Malice at the Palace. It's just this is the Malice at the no one gives a shit. You know what I mean?
Trash at Tupelo.
Yeah. The squabble at the high school gym here doesn't really rank. So here we go. The incident in the stands with one fan who said he was assaulted by a Winston-Salem player, consulting with Homa police ready to press charges. The Winston-Salem player was told by police not to leave the premises. In the aftermath of the tussle, another fan was taken away by police after he ran onto the playing field and performed what appered to be alcohol-induced dances.
All right.
I mean, it was probably the most entertaining thing that happened the whole fucking night, besides a melee and a brawl here. The fracas started on a kickoff return, and at the beginning looked like a fight typically seen in football, simmering down after a minute. But both teams soon left their designated areas, not benches because they don't have benches. Those are your designated areas. We put tape down on the just stay in the tape. The designated area. That's so sad. Hey man, this is our designated area and we're going to defend it.
Where are you guys sitting? We're behind the visiting designated
area. We're going to defend this designated area to the death, man. Not the bench. I like how they didn't just put in bench and give them extra credit for having benches. They're like, you don't have benches.
They had to describe it exactly what it is.
Designated area. It's a taped off zone with 4 beanbag chairs in case you get hurt. You can put you in one of those. Otherwise, you're standing.
There's a couple of wheelchairs for the guys that really need it. Outside of that, you fucking stand.
You're standing. Steal
in
some
your designated area.
Steal some folding chairs from the fans. You're tougher than them. Drag it over to the designated area and sit down.
Don't act like all these chairs will be filled.
Come on. Trust me, there'll be empty seats, guys.
Be
you can watch from Section A. No one's paying $22.50 to come here. Section A will be quite empty. We're assured. Pretty positive Section A is going to be
pretty empty. You'll have plenty of chairs to set in the designated area.
Hard to pump guys up when you go, come on, guys. Let's get all over to the designated area. We're going to have a pump-up talk. Johnny, inside the tape. Seriously, come on, guys. That's where the hot dog vendors are. Just in the back near them.
Those chairs are for the water boys, fellas. Stand with
guys.
us.
They got a lot of work to do. You guys are replaceable. The water boy, he does something. No one cares about you guys. We could put anyone in those chairs. We didn't even give you a bench. The designated area. Here you go,
They
guys.
already know.
Here's your designated area. Thanks. I played Division I football, man.
They already know that they're useless.
It's just gotten worse from the Peach Bowl on. There was the Peach Bowl, which was probably pretty good, and then it's just gone it's into the toilet to where you don't even have a bench. You have a designated area. I bet they have to get changed like at home and come here in full uniform.
Oh, they've got it. They change in their designated area.
Yeah. They're like, well, they put a curtain up around it like a...
Yeah.
But they're like, hey, guys, no, you can't use the locker room. The minor league hockey team is here on the weekends, and they don't want you in there. So you guys are, you're well below the minor league hockey team. Yeah, those guys, they pay.
They're in there cleaning it for them.
Yeah,
you can't be in there. But we're just going to get it dirty, too. Yeah, but the janitor shift is only right now.
They said they won't clean up your garbage. They said if they were ready to clean up your shit, that's what they would have given you a bench. That's why you don't even have a bench. You have a designated area because they don't care about you. They're only willing to hose out a designated area. That's all they're willing to do for you. We're sorry.
Designated area.
That is fucking terrible. Then it says, while songs such as Bad Boys by Inner Circle, which is the cop song if you don't know, and Eye of the Tiger, which we know what that is, by Survivor. So while this melee is going on, the PA announcer just starts playing pump-up songs to make it more of a... You can't play Eye of the Tiger and expect people to stop fighting.
Yeah, he's playing. Is that in Rocky, for Christ's sake?
It is. It's the Rocky song. It made Rocky be able to beat up Carl Weathers. Think about that. Right. Sylvester Stallone's 5'7". He beat up Carl Weathers because of Eye of the Tiger. Actually, Eye of the Tiger was the Mr. T. Either way, he beat up Mr. T, for Christ's sake. Sylvester Stallone can't beat up Mr. T in 1983 unless Eye of the Tiger's playing. And then some crazy thing happens and you never know.
This is amazing.
So they played through the building's public address system. Homa police entered the playing field to help calm the madness.
Oh, God.
Eye of the Tiger. And the cops are coming with nightsticks drawn. There's clouds of pepper spray everywhere. The guys are being told to get back to your designated areas now. It's fucking...
Designated area clearing brawl.
It's crazy. Yeah, it was a designated area clearing brawl. The designated areas cleared out, and it was terrible. We couldn't do it. I'd hate to be a designated area warmer on a team. That's bad. You don't even get to play. You just have to stand in you're a designated area warmer. It's bad. So, ultimately, Bayou Bucks officials said all but 2 Winston-Salem players and all but 3 Homa players were ejected from the game. So
we've got 5 players left combined.
5 players combined, which is one all-time quarterback on a 2-2. Yeah. That's what we're playing. Yeah. We've all played that in the yard. Everybody's had 5 people. It's like, well, all-time quarterback, 2-on-2. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's go. We're fucking doing it. But no, they decided we're calling off the game, pussies.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. These people paid, what, $12 to see this? Come on. According to Bayou Bucks coach Jack Phillips Jr., senior's all embarrassed that this is bringing his good name into this. Son, could you change your name?
I didn't want to hear about the fucking league, and now you've involved me in this.
Christ almighty. I Google, and here I am. The situation was made worse by a lack of control by referees throughout the game. What level of referees are they getting? NFL officials suck. Can you imagine how bad these fucking refs are? They're terrible.
They have other jobs for sure.
Are you kidding me?
For sure.
They're getting $20 to do this. This is not only they have other jobs, they drink in the car before they enter here. Like it's.
There's no way they're going to compromise health and body for these criminals.
For fucking a bunch of people in their designated areas. Oh, my God. I think the officials let this game get out of hand from the beginning. Then, unquote there. More than 20 minutes after the first punch was thrown, just as matters seemed to cool down and several players retired to the locker room. I'm going to put quotes around locker room. At one end of the arena, players began fighting again. The public address announcer then called for all police to report back to the building. After you played fucking Eye of the Tiger, now you want the cops to come in here?
You contributed this. If you didn't ignite it.
He said, 911 emergency. He said, yeah, my house is on fire currently. I'm standing out in the yard. Hold on a sec, Splash. What was that, sir? No, I'm pouring gasoline on it right now, but you need to get down here and put it out. I just had some extra gasoline. I didn't know what to do with it, so I figured I'd put it on the fire. Right? Is that what you do? That's what he did. Please come over and put it out. Fucking
he just
asshole.
screamed fire in a crowded theater and then was like, oh, there's people being trampled. It's crazy in here.
It's weird, right? He should have, seriously, everyone should have stopped and beat the shit out of him. That would have been better.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been amazing. Hey, beat the shit out of that guy. Ah!
Well, Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah. Eye of the Tiger. Just fucking, please stop. You have cleats on.
He just soundtracked his own murder.
God, Jesus, make it stop.
Stabbed to death 3/4 of an inch at a time.
Ow. So many holes in my face. Rising up out on the street. Oh, God, it hurts. It stings so bad. I'm sweating into it now.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer.
I can really show you how to make some money.
And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a micro-city built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Shortly after he announced that with the Energy ahead 50-21, the game was over and all fans were asked to leave the arena.
Everybody get out.
Ain't got to go home, but you got to get the fuck out of here. Beer sales shut off about 10 minutes ago, so we're done. Bye. Holy fucking balls, man. And it says some shit that happened in the game. Apparently, the Bucks cut the Energy's lead to 50-21. That's an optimistic way to put it.
Sure.
Cut the lead from 50-21. Got slightly closer.
You still aren't even halfway there.
The Bucks made the score slightly less embarrassing by bringing it up to 21. That's a better line. After Mike Schaefer's kickoff bounced over the back wall with 27 seconds left in the third quarter. Shortly after the play, two Energy players were on top of a Bucks player near the midfield wall. After the three players were separated, minor scuffles broke out. Then the worst display of unsportsmanlike conduct broke out. Energy off.
And the announcer played
Eye of the Tiger. And then Bad Boys once the cops came in.
Yeah, of unsportsmanship. The home team heckled.
The problem is the PA guys at these small things, they are like local radio DJs.
Yeah.
They're local radio DJs.
Funny. Right.
The baseball team here has a local radio DJ as their guy. I don't know anything about him, but I'm sure it's sound effects and, Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonations or whatever morning zoo guys do. I don't fucking know anymore. But that's what he's doing. So he's like, I'd be clever if I play Bad Boys as the cops run in.
Right.
So anyway, energy offensive lineman Gene Downing, 6'6", 350 pounds. He must have.
Oh my God!
Imagine how little talent he has to be playing here if he's that big. He must have no talent whatsoever.
That is so much mass.
He hit Bucs receiver Clint Schexnader in the back with his left hand. Schaefer came to the defense of his teammate by shoving Downing and was hit in the back with a Bucs helmet Downing was holding. So they started beating each other with helmets. Carell said, oh, God, 490 AM's Off the Bench show. They're talking about them. How many people are listening to that?
Yeah. AM radio.
AM radio. You do not swing a helmet to break up a fight. You swing a helmet to hurt someone. If Downing is not suspended, something's not right. Who cares? No one's watching. Oh, my God. He said that the other coach said Downing's conduct was totally unacceptable, and he was remorseful, Downing was, on the bus trip home. He felt bad. Of course, it's a bus trip. Yeah. Not a team bus. They just took separate Greyhounds to wherever they were going.
City buses.
City buses. That's it.
Jumped on the blue line.
The radio guy said, I'm very upset and appalled about what happened. The head of the officials, George Nash, and I get too involved and should just watch the game. I take a big interest in my team. You can't control grown men, but you can treat them professionally. I will not let any official, player, or anyone else take advantage of one of my players. Is the radio guy a coach of one of these teams? Oh, he was on. He wasn't hosting. Okay. He's on the radio. We have the coach of this team you've never heard of today.
Yeah.
Hey, coach, how's it going? So he also blamed it on the officials. He said, something was going to happen because the officials let it get away. I'm appalled by the officials in this league.
Okay.
What do you want? What do you want? Who are you hiring? Jesus Christ. So, anyway, that's how this all went. And then the rest of the year they played, and that's how that goes. So, 2003, I found here, the Homa Bayou Bucks are doing very well this year. Bates, they said this happened. One of the guys says, quote, Bates just cut-quicked us in the second half. What is cut-quicked? Quick-cutted?
I don't know.
He said cut-quicked us in the second half. We couldn't get to him. His little cracks that we had covered up in the he hit little cracks we had covered up in the first half. So he was playing like a running back position after that. And anyway, there you go. So he's playing like a running back in some league you've never heard of, where games get called off due to fights that the announcers egg on with pump-up music.
That end up having everybody but 5 combined from both teams ejected.
Only 5 people stayed in their designated areas in the entire fucking rosters of both teams.
There are 5 good boys on both teams combined.
That's it. So, not surprisingly, he does not end up in the NFL based on these performances here. Yeah. So, what does he do? He returns to New Orleans, which I'm sure he was commuting to Homa anyway. You don't move to Homa to play 7 home games of some shit team. He works as a bouncer at a club for a while. Then he does that. And he later opens up a car wash. That's what he does. He opens up Nemo's Car Wash. Now he's like, fuck it, I'll use the name to my advantage.
Yeah.
Everybody's been making fun of me for the past few years. You know what?
Use my name, mix some water in,
Boom.
Rub a dub, your car's clean,
Your
goodbye.
car's clean, rubbed it with my fucking messed up wing here. So everybody said that a lot of people mistook him for a New Orleans Saint all the time because the way he carried himself as a football player. And later on, a prosecutor will say this about him, quote, he never had any friends growing up.
Oh, no.
That's a bit of insight on old Nemo here. He had an inferiority complex. He pretended like he was in the pros, dressed like he played pro football, driving a Hummer, gold chains. That's what attracted people to Nemo.
How the fuck did he do that?
That's the deal. He's owning a car wash, and from what I understand, it's not, he's not making money hand over fist from a car wash, but he's living like and flashing like he's got everything. So we got to wonder who he is hanging out with, what he's doing. Right. Well, let's introduce some people here. Now, we're not saying he's a part of this crew, but this whole crew you have to know about because he's definitely in their orbit, very much so, okay? This is they're called the Hankton crew, is what everybody knows them as. It's Telly Hankton. Have you ever heard of Telly Hankton?
Telly Hankton.
He's a New Orleans criminal legend, basically. He's the well-known. The people made songs about him and shit.
Really?
Yeah, he's the most
Hankton.
well-known kind of New Orleans street gangster of the late 90s, early 2000s, basically.
All right.
Telly Hankton, Wild Telly, they called him. And, he's got some cousins that are involved in this shit as well, and brothers and all sorts of shit. He actually, at one point in 2011, became New Orleans public enemy number one, according to the mayor.
Oh.
Held a press conference and called him out by name as public enemy number one in the city of New Orleans.
We're looking for you, Telly.
That's not good. Things are going bad there. They're playing Eye of the Tiger over the speakers, and people are looking for you.
For your freedom.
Absolutely. They held a press conference. Apparently, the crew, one of the Hankton crew, had murdered a bar manager named Curtis Matthews at the Jazz Daiquiri Bar. Only in New Orleans would you mix daiquiris and jazz together and call that a business proposal. What's your idea for this business? Jazz music and daiquiris. Sold. What is it, New Orleans? No problem.
What are you going to sell? Daiquiris. How are you going to make that? They're everywhere. Jazz music.
Jazz music. It's like the shape of it's a trumpet. It's a plastic trumpet that we put the drink in, and you can walk down the street in it. It's pretty cool.
And you slurp strawberry booze out of it.
Oh, it's great. It's super great. And then you show everyone your tits because you're so drunk. You can't help it. So, they did all of this shit, and that's why, because they killed this manager of a bar. That's wild to have a fucking press conference to call someone. Apparently, this guy, his brother John, I guess the guy who got shot is John, right? Yes, John Matthews?
Curtis, right?
Curtis Matthews. Curtis Matthews, yes. Yeah. Apparently, his brother John was the owner of the bar, and his brother had been shot 17 times in his home.
Holy shit.
So the other guy stepped in there. And, the reason they're doing this, the Hankton associates attempted to kill John Matthews, Curtis's brother, following his testimony at Telly Hankton's trial in the death of a man named Darnell Stewart. Okay. He testified against him, shot this guy up. This guy took off. His brother took over his business. Then they killed his brother.
Wow, man.
So, yeah. Apparently, it says, I'll just give you quotes here. This is Darnell Stewart, the original murder. Following a rolling gun battle, Stewart was chased down and ran over by a high-performance car in front of the daiquiri shop in May of 2008. After crashing his car and taking off on foot, he was launched into the air and pistol-whipped after slamming back down to the earth.
What? They ran him down. He flew in the air after being hit, and they beat the shit out of him with a gun?
Then they shot him 11 times with a 9mm.
Oh, my God.
That's that guy's ending.
They are so mad at him.
Yes. That was
Holy shit.
How mad can you fucking be? It's like someone named you Nemessis or something. That's how mad you are.
Imagine being so mad at somebody. I can't imagine.
You wish you could send people back to their designated areas after that sort of thing. You know what I mean? So... yeah, that's what happened. That all happened right in front of the Jazz Daiquiri Bar. That's why the John Matthews guy saw it and was like, oh, shit, and then had to testify, and then he got shot a bunch and left, and then his brother took over, and they shot his brother, too.
Oh, my God.
So this is a lot. These guys don't fuck around. They'll kill
all over some coconut Bacardi.
Oh, my God. So at the press conference, the mayor said, quote, I'm sending a message loud and clear to Telly Hankton and his family and anyone else associated with this. We're coming to get you.
And your family.
And your family. Oh, and then Eye of the Tiger blared through fucking Volkswagen-sized speakers.
Bad boys.
Oh,
what
man.
you gonna do?
And also offered $10,000 to Crime Stoppers to help them aid in the finding of Curtis Matthews' killer. But yeah, this is fucking nuts is what it is. They claim that Hankton started what they call later on a $43 million drug empire here. Here's what kind of a timeline of Telly Hankton, okay? 94 to 97, he and his buddy or his cousin Thomas Hankton start selling coke. They go from street dealing and step it up to kilos during that time.
Wow.
So you step up to kilos and then you start cutting it that way. And then after a while, you start selling fucking weight to the people who are buying kilos. And that's how this goes. by 1998, Telly starts buying, 5-6 kilos every couple weeks.
Holy shit.
And becomes, a pretty big supplier in the New Orleans area. That's
You only need to do that 2-3 times, and you are a millionaire, and you
got
are
a lot of money.
Fine. Quit, retire, stop.
Nobody does that, though. They keep doing it. So March 3rd, 99, Derek Smothers and Terrell Smothers shoot some guy who they know here. There's a murder that they're talking about later. Then March 22nd, 2000, Telly Hankton shoots another guy from the organization over missing drugs and money that this guy had been storing from him. This guy he shot is his cousin, by the way, Frank Hankton.
Shot his own cousin.
Yes. That's what happens there. So they're mad at Frank Hankton. They shoot him over the missing drugs and money. Frank, though, blamed his daughter, said it wasn't even me, my daughter did it, but they shot Frank anyway. Then, a month later, they shoot his daughter, too.
Don't worry, she'll get hers.
Yeah, we'll shoot. We're going to shoot you also, but then we'll shoot your daughter. Venice Brazeley is her name. She shot and killed along with a man named Calvin Fox, who I think...
They killed her.
They killed her. Oh, yeah, they absolutely killed her. Absolutely. Yeah, dead. Then, on January 15, 2004, he shoots another associate of his named Brian Broussard as well. Then, on November of 2004, Telly shoots another one who the name wasn't released at this point because it was a member of his organization. Right. So, shoots another one there. Basically, anybody who is a little short on their count or some shit like that, he just kills them. He doesn't fuck around, Telly Hankton.
He's very greedy and wants... See, I don't understand. I'm out of that. I can't get into the ego that it takes to want to be the kingpin.
I don't
understand that.
I'd much rather make a bunch of money quietly and then go away so nobody knew it ever happened. That's so much.
Giggle.
That's so much more attractive to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the difference between that's the difference between like a podcast and being an actor. You know what I'm saying? You want to strut and do all that shit. It's high risk, high reward for this acting. But if you do succeed, then everyone knows who you are, and you got to like that. If you're in a podcast, it's great because even if you do well, even if you have a show like ours that has a lot of listeners and shit, unless you're within a couple blocks of your live show, no one knows who the fuck you are. They don't. No one sees you. They don't care. It's fucking wonderful. And then if the people that do know who you are all like you pretty much, too, because that's why would they listen to your show if they didn't like you? It's not like, I see that guy on TV all the time. I hate him. You have to seek the podcast out. So if they hear you or hear your voice and go, are you? They like you. So it's like, fucking A. Great. It's easy. This is a mess. This Kingpin shit sucks, and I wouldn't want to do it. It sounds bad. So
I could never.
No. And then 2005, that's the Darnell Stewart incident. And we mentioned that's wraps back to Darnell Stewart. 2005, George Jackson asks an associate to kill Darnell Stewart, and Telly Hankton obviously gives a gun to associates while at his mother's house. Within minutes, they shoot Broussard and Stewart and another guy. 3 different guys.
Unbelievable.
So, he says, here's a gun, and then they go out and shoot him. So that's the evidence.
There's too many bodies, man.
They're going to have on him later. Oh, it gets worse. April of 2006, Darvin Bessie attempts a drive-by shooting on Telly Hankton, which seems like a bad idea.
Somebody's trying to get at Telly?
Are
you aware of what he does?
Come at the king, you best not miss. That's one of those situations here. It didn't go well. It didn't work.
Yeah.
He didn't kill anybody. And a week later, Darvin Bessie was shot dead on Martin Luther King Boulevard. So there you go.
If anybody deserves it.
I mean, he literally kicked a hornet's nest. Not literally, but figuratively
That's what he's doing.
Kicked a fucking hornet's nest.
The man kills his family.
Shot bullets into a hornet's nest and then wondered why it came out and stung him.
I would say worse. He shot at a man who kills his family.
Yeah.
You mean shit to him, man?
Yeah.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
He killed his niece, I think, here, allegedly. Yeah. So this isn't good. Anyway, obviously, Telly was the shooter on this one as well because he shot at him now. So now it's, don't fuck up. You come after Telly, you better fucking bring it because he is coming for you. 2 months later in 2006, newspapers, this was all over the United States, talked about a splash. This was the headline, Central City Massacre, it said.
Oh,
5 teenagers were shot dead inside an SUV at the corner of Josephine and Daniel Street. Telly Hankton's name immediately was the one that came to mind because this was
5 teenagers.
This was in the middle of his turf, and so either he did it or probably approved it or knows about it type of thing if it's his turf because he owns this shit there. Now, the problem is they blame somebody else, though. They blame a different guy in the gang named Mike Anderson. Okay,
Mike.
They blame old Mike on this.
Is the guy that got shot in the hind parts?
Mike got shot in his hind parts. Mike ended up being blamed for this. Okay, he basically gets blamed for this, and he takes the rap for it because they think it's Telly, but he's like, no, I did it because he's a lower guy in the gang here. The prosecutors always say it was Telly who killed them. 21 bullets were fired at these kids, by the way, killing them.
5 teenagers.
In April 2007, apparently not even a planned thing. They weren't having a rumble or anything like that, but there was a shootout between the Red Rooster shootout at the Red Rooster Snowball stand on Clara Street in Central City. And this was Darnell Stewart, Jesse Reed, and Kareem Powers. Those are the 3 that got shot that we talked about. They stopped for some food, and Telly and his cousin Troy were there, and they ambushed the 3 of them as they drove off, firing multiple rounds at their car as they tried to leave. And Kareem Peters was the only man shot, but, then they have to have a fucking... Now they have to shoot back at them. So 8 months later... George Cup Hankton, that's his nickname, Telly's cousin, was washing his car at a Gert Town car wash when he was shot by Stewart Reed and Peters as revenge. So
in Gert Town.
In Gert Town, yeah.
Gross.
So he is shot as revenge. So now it's just going back and forth. They shot at him. Now they shoot and killed his cousin.
Yeah.
Now Telly, as you might imagine, doesn't take kindly to people shooting his cousin.
Oh, he's pretty upset.
He's going to be pissed off about that.
Yeah.
Telly seems like he's probably got a short fuse anyway.
Likely a volatile fella.
Shoot his cousin, and he's probably going to be more pissed off. So that was he tried to find these guys for a few nights, and then it would all come at the Jazz Daiquiri Lounge. That's when that happened there. So 5 months afterwards, that's when they killed, it was Telly and his cousin Andre Hankton killed Darnell Stewart at the Daiquiri Bar. An eyewitness called 911, and it said the car, it hit him and sent him very, very high into the air. This is the quote from 911. It sent him over the telephone pole.
Yep.
How the fuck do you send a human being over a telephone pole? Over the telephone pole?
Yeah. My friend's sister was killed like that.
Well, it gets, I guess if it's going fast enough, because it gets more. It sent him over the telephone pole. His shoes came off.
Yeah. That's hitting somebody so hard. Your whole body goes limp and your shoe can come off.
That's the murder equivalent of pulling a tablecloth out from under a table that's set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to pull it so hard that the shoes don't even know to go with it. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. His shoes came off. His pants almost came off, and he went end over end over end.
Oh, Jesus.
He hit him so hard his pants almost came off. He fucking blew the pants off him.
He hit him and made him into a Chinese throwing star.
Yeah, that's insane. He went over a telephone pole.
Oh, my God.
At this, they weren't done with him yet. This is the point where they shot him, because remember we said we hit him. They hit him.
Still had to pistol whip him.
Then Telly got out of the car and walked over and pistol whipped him, then shot him 11 times in front of numerous witnesses standing around watching.
What the fuck?
That's announcing, I own this motherfucker. I'm the king of this town.
Yeah.
I don't care who's watching, because you all know not to say shit. That's what that is. That's really arrogant.
I am not worried about any of you.
That is really, really, really fucking arrogant. 4 of the shots were delivered right to his face, by the way.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, they killed him multiple times.
Also, if you saw that, if you see a guy do that, are you going to talk to the cops? I don't know that I'm going to.
I mind my business. I'm Italian. I don't say shit when I see something like that. If I see something like that, I'm walking the other way. That motherfucker clearly did something to piss that guy off. Either way, I'm not involved in this. If the cops want to figure it out afterwards, great, but this has nothing to do with me. I don't want to get hit by a car and shot 11 times.
I'm trash, and in a trailer park, this goes from trailer to trailer really fast. But if I saw that, mum's the word. That man is not afraid of fuck. I'm afraid of him.
That's why he did that, to show everyone how unafraid of getting caught he is, which makes him way more terrifying. That's right. Imminently more terrifying.
Because if you tell the cops, your statement is now part of the record, and they're going to ask you to say that shit in court. I'm not saying that shit in that guy's face.
Fuck no, I'm not saying shit.
He puts bullets in people's faces. I'm not putting words in his face.
A shitload of bullets. He's arrested for the murder and posts a $1 million bail. So he posts it because he's got a shitload of money. So he takes about a year off from killing, though, since he's, out on bail for murder. But in June of 2009, he gets right back into it again here. Jesse Tutu Reed. Let's talk about him. Tutu. Tutu was hanging out on the front porch of an abandoned house, as one does.
You do.
As one has wont to do from time to time. He's hanging out.
Him that for the piece he carries, not for his clothes, right?
I don't know. It's TUTU, so.
Oh my God, it is a tutu.
That's what I mean. And I don't know what the fuck the deal with that is. Maybe. Well, wait till we're going to hear from. We still haven't introduced Urkel to the whole thing. There's an Urkel in this story.
Unbelievable.
These names are great. This is why I wanted to do the mob serial killers too, because some of these guys, I've killed 45 guys. I chopped them up into tubs, and their names are fucking hilarious. They have nothing to do with their real names.
Joey Macadamia Nut.
Yeah, that's it. No, it's fucking. Hey, Fat Pete. Fat Pete, John Consigliere. Fat Pete, right? His name isn't even Pete. Why is he Fat Pete? At least at your job, you were Mini Jimmy. You weren't fucking Fat Jimmy. You'd be like, I'm not. What the fuck is that about? I'm not even fat. That's fucked up.
They call me Fat Tony. Your name's Jimmy. Why do they call you that? I don't know.
You're not fat or Tony. Yeah, that's what I mean. I said Fat Jimmy. Sorry. Okay. Anyway. Holy shit. So, he's doing all this. Tutu Reed's chilling on the front porch of an abandoned house on Terpsichore Street. I don't fucking know. Whatever. Telly Hankton and his buddy roll up. His buddy's going to play a big role in this whole story. Walter Porter, better known as, he's got two nicknames, but the most prominent one is Urkel. Because he wears glasses. So he's Urkel. That's it. Urkel. Black guy with glasses.
No voice.
Urkel. No, this is a bad motherfucker. He's known as a straight hitman. He's a straight fucking muscle guy, and he's known to always kill with two guns at the same time, one in each hand. Pop, 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 like that. Urkel. Urkel. You can't trust nicknames. That's the problem. Urkel, fuck him. Double-fisted. He also goes by Mooney. Some people call him Mooney for some reason. I don't know why, but Urkel is his most prominent nickname.
They saw him eating a moon pie one day.
That's all it was. One day he was looking up at the moon, and they're like, look at this moon-looking motherfucker. Yo, Mooney, come here for a minute. He's like, huh? I was just zoning out. They're like, this motherfucker always looking at the moon. He's always looking at the moon. Mooney sucks.
I looked at it for 3 seconds.
What are you talking about? I was just looking.
I had a moon pie in my pocket for my kid. Why are you calling me that?
Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't had one in a while. Saw it at the grocery. I don't know, man.
I didn't know when the last time was I'm going to see one again.
So, Porter here, Urkel, we'll just call him Urkel. He was trying to get in tight with Telly because he wanted to work with him. This is picture The Wire. You got a guy that wants to be in the program. He wants to be in the fucking on the team. He wants to be Team Barksdale here. Mm-hmm. And he said he was trying to impress him, basically, trying to show that he was worthy of getting hit work. And he said, he could do that because Telly had all these enemies. He's always killing people. And for this particular hit, Urkel's going to get $10,000.
Wow.
Not too shabby. So, and this Kevin Jackson guy is the guy who got the, he's like backup here. So here is a quote from later on. Here we go. Telly was showing him a little spot to be at. As he was showing him, Telly jumped out. Porter jumped out. Telly hit him, and Porter stood over him, hit him about 50 times. The cousin came up, hit him a few times. They fled the scene. That's Brian Bino Hayes.
Bino.
He's always very gassy.
Yeah.
He's a gassy individual.
Guy smells terrible.
I had a friend named Beans in high school because he farted all the time. Yo, Beans. And people just called him Beans. That's all it was.
I knew a white kid, last name Bean. We called him Beaner.
Oh, well, that's...
Why did we do that?
That's a tough one, yeah. That's a tough one.
Somebody called him that at like a Shasta Pools. He was working there. Somebody called him Beaner, and like a Mexican guy that was a customer goes, "You can't call him that." And he goes, "His name's Bean. I think we can call him that." And he's like, "No, you can't.
No, you can't call him a Beaner or the Beaner or Beaner or any of those things. I don't think you can.
You can't say that."
Thank God his name wasn't Nigg, for Christ's sake. Good God. Jesus, man.
It's just so bad. You can't call him that.
Beano.
He embraced it. He loved it. Nobody called him by his first name. Everybody called him Beaner.
This was a Puerto Rican kid, so it could go either way. You call him Beans, but it was only because he could fart at will.
Weird.
He could point his ass up in the air, and he farted like 74 times in a row one time while we couldn't breathe because of laughing and so much shit particles in the air. Yeah. But wow, was it fucking funny. It was so fucking funny. I love that kid.
That means those people can inhale with their butthole.
You'd hear him doing it. You'd hear him like, and then the more he'd suck in, the more it was sometimes, it was disgusting.
What a gift.
It was disgusting. This kid was generally disgusting anyway. He was a funny kid, but he'd just be like, I don't know. We'd be sitting around. He'd go, I'm going to go jerk off. And he'd just go in the bathroom. Huh? He'd come back. That's better.
This is always expelling things
You're
from his
just
body.
farting and jerking off. He'd grab like a thing of lotion too and be like, I'm going to go jerk off now. And he'd like grab a thing, put it under his arm and walk in there like he was like an old man with a newspaper going to take a shit.
At that point, I'd just be like, what was it? What did it? Who said what that made you so fucking horny?
Hey, he'd be bored. It wasn't even horny. It was just like, I'm going to go jerk off. He'd just be bored. I don't know. We're not doing anything here.
Stupid.
We're not doing anything. So either way, anyway, that Beano would say that in court there, Brian Beano Hayes. They put 50 bullets in this Reed guy. He shot him 50 times.
Hit him meant 50.
Pop, 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 pop. With two hands, obviously, too. It's two guns, one in each hand. I got two guns, one for each of you.
He would have two 25-round magazines or 30. Did he reload?
He could have had
nuts.
Extended. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. Fucking
50.
I'm not sure. 50 though. Then there was they left a witness though. That's the problem there. Apparently there's another guy here, Hassan Hockey Williams. He was with Jesse Reed when Jesse Reed was killed, and he was a witness to this whole thing. And they didn't like that, obviously. One night, on the night of Reed's death, two New Orleans detectives interviewed Hockey Williams, and he said, yes, Telly was one of the guys who shot Reed. Not good to say that. The detectives had him sign a photo of Hankton, and 4 days later, he was before a grand jury and acknowledging that, yes, they did this, and I saw him. So, July 4th, 2009, Hockey Williams is leaving his home on Dwyer Road in New Orleans East when he's shot and killed by Urkel, of course.
God, Jesus.
It's you tell on him you're getting shot. That's all there is to it. The forensics lab tested the slugs from his body, and they were the same ballistics as the ones from 2-2 Reed as well.
And they had a shitload of them because there's 50.
There's 50, so plenty to compare to. So this guy, Urkel, doesn't even know to dump his fucking guns. He keeps his guns like he's an Old West gunfighter. That's not what you do.
Have a signature.
You got to dump even in The Godfather, that was the 40s, for Christ's sake. Drop the fucking gun to your side and walk out. Don't keep it. Right. How dumb are you?
Just leave it with the body. Who gives a
that's
shit
what fucking. That's what Mikey Corleone did. Fucking had the tape on it, dropped it. Who cares? It's not you. Yeah. So there you go. Instead, this idiot does this. He uses the same guns because he thinks it's cool. And he's paid $10,000 for this as well. So he's making money. Buy new guns. Write it off. I don't know. Use it as I don't know what you do there. Can you write off new guns?
It's a low amount for a hit too, because the Iceman was getting upper Upper five figures, he said.
10 grand is nothing to kill
That's
someone.
little.
That's
so little.
If we always say, if you can afford it, it's a cop. If you're trying to get somebody killed, if someone says 10 grand, that's a cop. That's who that is.
Right.
That's a cop or this guy or Urkel. We don't know. One of the two.
New Orleans killer.
Yeah. So a little background on this killing anyway. This murder here, the 5 teenagers, that was blamed on Mike, if we remember. Mike took the rap for it. He said, I did that, even though they think it's Telly.
Yeah.
Now, this one is blamed on Mike. The Hassan killing is blamed on Mike, even though Mike didn't do it. It's mistakenly blamed on him. He is sentenced in 2009. Mike did not do this, by the way. You, sir, may fuck off. Death. He's sentenced to the death sentence. And then
New Orleans, forget it.
Later on, a judge overturned the conviction and sentence on other grounds. Not even grounds that he didn't do it. There was some legal shit going on there. So
they found other things. Multiple reasons to overturn this.
Jesus Christ. Now, Mike is the leader of the Josephine Dog Pound Gang. Okay? He'll plead no contest to 5 counts of manslaughter on the teenagers, and he will take a federal and state combined plea deal that gets him 80 years in state court and life in federal prison.
It's over.
Yeah, not the death penalty, though. But he always says he didn't kill the 5 teens. That's what he always says. So, which he didn't. I don't think. We think Telly did it, but either way, here he goes.
He's a bad dude.
He's a bad guy, yeah. I don't know if it's life in prison bad, but it seems like he's killed a bunch of people, probably. Allegedly, let's just say here. So they said the court is convinced that the notoriety, the media attention, and the public reaction surrounding the quintuple homicide create a uniquely troublesome concern of unfair prejudice. That's what the judge said. They said that he was unpersuaded that the quintuple murder is an essential chapter in the government's story of the crimes charged, and the quintuple murder appears to be on its own, its own story, comprised of many chapters. So, anyway, this is the whole thing. Apparently there was a meeting between Mike and Telly that took place in jail in 2009. After Mike was sentenced to death, okay? Yeah, this is crazy shit, all right? At his trial, Mike argued that he didn't commit the murder and said it was Telly Hankton. But Telly knew he said it was going to say that. They worked this out. This was an agreement, okay? Because Telly lived a block down the street. Now, prosecutors dismissed the claim as you're trying to blame it on a bad guy because he lives close. Mighty convenient. Yet the thing is, they got together, they hatched an agreement where Hankton would pay for Anderson's appeal, the one that worked,
right?
While Anderson agreed to use a contraband cell phone he has to order a hit from jail on Hankton's behalf. I'll pay for your shit, but I need you to pass along a message from your phone to this guy to say to kill this person. So that's what happened there.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah, which was Hassan Williams. So, who appeared he was going to testify before the grand jury that Hankton, and Porter and all that shit. Okay, that was for Darnell Stewart. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! And then John Matthews was the daiquiri guy. He saw the whole thing. And then his brother Curtis. So this is a fucking mess. We'll put it that way. Oh my God, Stewart. His pants didn't come almost off. That's what 911 said. In the report, though, he was hit by a Ford Mustang. The Mustang hit him, sent him flying 25 feet, according to the prosecutors. Stewart lost his pants and his underwear got stuck on a utility pole staple.
Wow.
He was completely pantsless because as he flew through the air, his pants came off and he hit a fucking utility pole enough to get his underwear caught on the staple and rip off of him like a cartoon.
Where somebody had a lost dog poster and a staple was left behind, his underwear now stand there.
And then they came up and shot him 11 times.
Wow, naked.
Yeah. Now, Matthews is the first Matthews survived they attempted to kill him, the first witness, and they killed his brother. He was shot at least 17 times.
Jesus fucking hell, man.
The one who survived was shot at least 17 times. The doctor said he stopped counting because they were just trying to pull. They didn't even know where more holes were. They just stopped counting and tried to sew him up. There was no point in knowing. This was at his home. Holy shit. He fired back apparently. He also will testify against Hankton later on. So they should have killed him. If they're going to kill him, kill him. Yeah. But they didn't. Now, Mike and Hankton, Jesus Christ, Hankton Telly felt bad that Mike was facing the death sentence, and that's how that whole thing happened.
He's got a heart?
No. He just felt like, shit, I fucked that up for you. I'll make it better. One of those deals. So Telly Hankton, he was selling, at this point, 10 to 15 fucking kilos of coke a week.
That's so much money.
So much money. They didn't even, it wasn't that very complicated. They just got people, mainly women, to travel back and forth between Houston and New Orleans to get the drugs. That was all they did. They just went and got it in Houston. And, they broke it down into allotments, put it out to the mid-level guys who broke it down to the street dealers, just a general Avon Barksdale situation.
Yep.
Hankton, though, now has John Matthews still wanting to testify against him. John Matthews, by the way, is a Vietnam veteran and a pretty sturdy guy who's still willing to testify in court even after being shot 17 at least times.
Listen, man, I was fired by people I never even saw. I'm afraid of you.
And then on top of that, they killed his brother. So now they're really fucking pissed. Apparently, you could have like $10,000 and it could get you anybody killed back then. That was just
amazing.
That was the thing here.
10 years ago.
Yeah. That John Matthews guy who got shot 17 times and survived in his house, in his recliner watching TV. That's when he said that he decided he should keep a weapon close to him, and he had a 2-shot pistol. So he said, quote, "I almost made it to the foyer, and the door flew wide open, and I was hit with a shotgun blast and an automatic. Seemed like automatic weapon fire."
Oh, my God.
And he's a war veteran, too. Mm-hmm. And he was in a coma for 2 weeks and then came around and is going to testify. This guy's fucking tough. Jesus Christ. He got out of the hospital, left Louisiana, and hired Curtis to run the daiquiri business, and then they killed Curtis as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So pretty fucking ridiculous. Curtis was shot 14 times. Yeah, there. So not good. The whole Telly is he's a bad guy. Let's just say that. This is a truly, he's running a fucking organized crime empire here. Yeah. That's what he's doing here. So, a lot of people are going to testify. There's also Troy Hankton. He's involved in this. This is Telly's cousin and another guy. He was a big-time star at LSU as well, involved in this.
Really?
Absolutely. He graduated from the honor roll at his high school in 2002. He's a 2-time league MVP in high school and an all-state cornerback. Absolutely. He's recruited by Nick Saban at the time to go to LSU and was a 3-star prospect. He ended up in his freshman year. He redshirted 2002. 2003, he left the program, and that's the year they won the national championship.
Wow.
And he left the program that year. So he was going to be hot shit there, though, and it didn't work out either. So in 2004, he was involved in some of this shit as well. Now, Walter Urkel Porter. Walter is kind of a dorky name, too, though.
Yeah, you got glasses and your name's Walter. We'll call him Urkel.
You're Urkel, sorry. He's known for 2 guns. There's also Aaron Beatty Smith, Beadie, or Beedie, depending on where it is.
It's because he smokes beaties.
He smokes beaties. Now, there's another guy here named Christopher Smith. He goes by Tiger. That's his name. Tiger and Aaron Beatty Smith are not related, separate Smiths.
Okay.
Well,
okay. It's a common name.
At least the Hanktons are all related, so they're easy to keep track of.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
Now, Smith here, all he is, Tiger Smith apparently works at the car wash. He's a car wash employee, works at Nemo's car wash. That's his whole role in this type of thing. Apparently, Nemo, this guy had come to his house for some reason a couple months earlier and had stolen cash and jewelry from Nemo's house.
Oh, he robbed Nemo?
He robbed Nemo's house, okay?
Okay.
An employee, and then continues to work for him, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Nemo then found out about it, told everyone he knew about it. This fucking guy stole from me. He called the police, as a matter of fact, and said, one of my employees stole from me, yada, yada. And apparently the investigation didn't go anywhere for like 6 months, so Nemo got fucking pissed off and said, cops won't do shit. I can't get my shit back. So he's like, let me see what I can do. So he calls his friend Aaron Smith up, Beatty.
Yeah.
Calls Beatty up, and he's like, yo, fucking, I got a guy I need to get killed. I know you guys can take care of that shit. Beatty said, fuck yeah, we do, and I'd love to help out. I'm currently on house arrest on an ankle monitor, so it'd be very difficult for me to kill a man at this. Unless you brought him over, it's going to be hard.
I'm on house arrest. Keep calling me talking about murder, though.
Yeah. Dude, I'm sure that's fine, but bring him to the house. I'll shoot him in the front yard, then he can drive away. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I can't go anywhere. Bring the murder to me.
Just bring it. Yeah, just fucking Grubhub my murder for me, please. DoorDash me a murder. So, yeah, this is how this goes on. So he says, okay, do you know anyone who could do it, who's not on house arrest?
Yeah.
And he says, of course, Urkel. Who else?
Yeah, right.
Urkel. So he's like, Urkel, maybe Urkel. So he calls up Urkel, and he says, Urkel goes, fuck yeah, I'll do it. How much money are we talking? $20,000, Nemo offers.
A car wash guy is gonna pay me twice the amount that super rich Coke kingpin will pay me?
10 for Beatty, 10 for Urkel. 10 for Beatty for hooking it up, 10
Finder's
for Urkel
fee.
for doing it. Yeah, so it's half and half. They're going to split it. He's setting it up. He's going to tell him where to go and all that shit. So, he needs help there. He needs a kind of a setup man. So, November 21st, 2010, they find Tiger Smith at his home in Gretna, and he's right in his front doorway, and he is shot more than 20 times with 9mm.
Shit.
9mm, double. He goes double-fisted, Urkel, and shoots Smith, they say at least 28 times he's hit.
Dear Lord.
So that's like you got Sonny Corleone at the toll booth. That's crazy. That's a lot.
How much did he steal?
That's what I mean. He must have stole more than 20,000, I guess. Fuck.
Yeah.
So Smith then got a hold of Nemessis and just told him, quote, this is what Smith would later say, I told him, have the money, watch the news, and then he hung up. He's like, have the money.
It's going to be wild.
Yeah, the guy, Nemo said, for what? And he goes, watch the news. And he and he hung up. Well, Bates said at the time he could only come up with about $2,000 in cash. That's all he had on him.
Why would you say?
So he offered 20, but he could only come up with 2. So he's like, shit, I got 2. You think Urkel would understand? Let's find out if Urkel's an understanding guy. Let's get some background on Urkel.
Uh-huh.
The guy who empties fucking banana clips into you in the street.
He hits a man with 28 rounds. I'm going to go with not very understanding.
It doesn't seem like he'd be
You know
very
what he
understanding.
understands? eliminate a man and I'll pay you 20 grand. That's what he understands.
That's it. No problem here.
Are you going to come back with some Walmart rollback prices? No.
Fuck no. Yeah, you got to watch out for Urkel, man. So a couple weeks later, Urkel gets pulled over driving Nemo's car. It is a 2008 Mercedes-Benz. Gets pulled over driving it. It's Nemo's car. Now, the cops are looking into all this shit because he made a report about Tiger Smith. So when someone's dead, they go, well, who was mad at him? Well, this guy called the cops repeatedly complaining that he fucking stole all his shit from him, and he knows a bunch of gangsters. Maybe it's him. So they pull over this car. I'm pretty sure, just by the report, that they pulled over the car thinking it was Nemo. Because it's his car. They probably ran the registration, thought it was Nemo. They were probably keeping an eye on him. Turns out, hey, it's this other guy we suspect of multiple murders. Wow, cool.
It's not the guy that we thought murdered him. It's a hitman driving that man's car.
Who we're pretty sure he would have hired to murder him. So now we've just connected these two people that before this we had no connection between them.
No.
Now we've put the guy who we think murdered the guy in his fucking car after the murder. So very, very easy here, the way this is going. He's pulled over for an unspecified traffic violation. Being Nemo, I think, is what he got pulled over. They were just finding Nemo. Yeah, that's all they were doing. Finding Nemo, we've come across him. So there's a field interview card, and he says that it's my friend Nemessis Bates' fucking deal. They note on this field interview card, this will come up later, they note Porter's name, race, gender, date of birth, height, weight. Your typical, this is what this person looks like type of deal. And they didn't arrest him. They didn't arrest Urkel. They didn't issue him any traffic citations, or they didn't even search the vehicle.
Why would you? You just gave us the most valuable information ever. Go on your way, sir.
That's it for an investigation there. So they have a lot of evidence on him. Here are the evidence they have that he is involved in the Christopher Tiger Smith murder. Porter, anyway. Ballistics analysis determining that the same firearm used to kill Tiger was also used in the attempted murder of John Matthews.
Uh-oh.
The crime they suspect Porter for. A confidential source told investigators that Nemo had referred to two men that this confidential informant saw at Bates' business as the killers. He was like, those guys are the killers that I'm using. Like they're like mobile detailers. Yeah, those guys there, those are the mobile detailers. No, they make your car look fucking amazing. They get it all on the carpet. It's good, man. No, hire those guys.
They will shine your tires.
Wow, those are the killers there. This informant also told investigators that Nemo told this informant that Bates owed these two men money for killing him. He goes, those are the killers. I owe them money. That's why they're here. You know, they want their cash here. Said that this confidential informant from two separate 6-person photograph lineups, they picked out Aaron Smith and Warren Porter, Urkel, as the two people he had seen at Bates' business. So Beatty and Urkel, the killers, quote unquote, and the ones he referred to. Aaron Smith, Beatty, told investigators he was an associate of Porter, which ties them together and corroborates the witness testimony that they know each other. Phone records for Beatty reveal that the day of Tiger Smith's murder, Aaron Smith received an incoming call from Porter as well, from Urkel that day. The number investigators knew to be used by Porter also called Bates 7 times in November and December 2010 after the murder of Christopher Smith, after Tiger's murder.
Where's my money?
Where's my money? Where's my money?
Yeah. Why are you talking to me?
A different confidential source who was a, quote, close associate of Porter's told investigators that Urkel, Porter, told this informant that Bates, Nemessis, had hired Urkel and Beatty to kill someone. So both sides it's coming from now, from his side and from his side. Days after the Tiger Smith murder, the Florida Highway Patrolman stopped Porter for a traffic violation in a red Toyota Camry. Okay. Later on was the Mercedes. This is the red Toyota Camry, which is rented in, whose name do you think that's rented in, the Toyota Camry?
Is that Nemo's name?
That's Nemo's Camry right there. You bet your fucking ass. So now, within 2 months, he's stopped in 2 of his fucking vehicles.
And one of them that's like emergency temporary use.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, if you need a rental car, you've
Something
gotten
happened.
to a place. Yeah, something bad happened, and you are relying on this to take care of your
Accident,
life. at the
car
moment.
broke.
Yeah.
You need some
Right.
shit here. So
Yeah, and somebody else is driving it.
this is fucking crazy. Now, so they end up arresting Urkel after a little bit here, obviously, all these ballistics and all this type of shit. He wouldn't even enter a not guilty plea. Wouldn't do anything. Freaked out, yelled and screamed about the appointment of his attorneys. He didn't like his attorneys. He complained about the underhanded tactics of the mayor, who fucking put Telly on blast and, publicly taint. How's he supposed to get a fair trial? The mayor called us public enemy number one on fucking television. Can't get a fair trial. And the mayor's brother holds up as the head of the gang prosecutions for the U.S. Attorney's Office as well. So he's like, it's all finger fucking. It's all too close, right? So they put Porter in a federal medical facility, which is on a former Army base, an hour away from Boston. And, he wanders around in there, and that's about that. They're trying to find out if he's competent here. That's the main thing. He writes letters to many, 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 many people, including federal judges, governors, at the time, President Obama, all of these people demanding a federal investigation into what he describes as an unconstitutional pile-on job by prosecutors.
Yeah.
So I killed all these people. They're trying to say I killed all these people. That looks so bad in court, right? One at a time, people. One at a time.
But
Calm
he's
down.
his brother. That's not fair.
Oh,
Those
come
two
on.
guys that don't like me and want to stop me from murdering people, they're brothers.
They
That's
know
not
each
right.
other. So that means I didn't kill all these people, right? Because they're brothers.
It's cold in Worcester. I want to go home.
This sucks. Fuck. So they have a gag order on a federal gang racketeering case that's separate of this. Oh, my God. The reports to Porter's mental health remain under seal at the time, too. It's a fucking mess. He's just hanging out, acting kind of nuts so he can not have to go to trial. Yeah. He's stalling everything he can. He's doing like a Charles Eng. Now, the other thing is his remaining co-defendants here in the two other federal cases against him have either pled guilty or pressed to move to trial on their own, not being tied. They don't want to be tied to Porter here, as well as an association with a man whom federal prosecutors have linked to at least 9 murders and 6 bank robberies.
Oh, shit.
That's good. So the attorney for London Lucci Carter, that is Porter's remaining lone co-defendant in the case accusing them of armed bank robbery, because they were robbing banks too, asked a judge last week when this was going on to let him proceed alone at trial, because fucking Porter's not going to do this shit. He's going to act crazy. So Hankton's mother, Shirley, and 10 others are also arrested in this whole deal. Even Telly's mom is involved in this. And it's basically a big racketeering case. Yeah. It's like the same thing they do with mob guys. Just bring them all in and line them up there.
Rico, this motherfucker.
Yep, the indictment in the case names Porter in 3 murders. Curtis Matthews, the brother of John Matthews, obviously, among them. So they called Porter, quote, the gunman for the enterprise. He's the main hitman there. They also said he was efficient and a prolific assassin who, unfortunately for him, used the same firearms repeatedly. He would hang them from fishing line behind the walls of his home.
The guns?
The guns, apparently. So they were hidden away somewhere, which is a very interesting thing. He also was very careful. At one point, he was a friend of his. Allegedly, they were going to do a hit, a rapper named BG, Christopher BG Dorsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. Okay. They were going to do a hit together, allegedly.
Really?
Him and BG here. And
BG is involved? Really?
Yeah, he's involved in all this shit. We'll talk more about him in a second.
Oh, boy.
BG apparently got too high, according to the transcript. This, I say allegedly, this came from a jailhouse phone call that was recorded that Porter was making, talking about how one time him and BG were going to do a hit, and BG got too high, so they didn't do it. I'm too high for that shit, man. Let's just go to Jack in the Box. It's great.
That is amazing.
That is fucking amazing, man. Jesus Christ, man.
Shit, I'm so. There was a bank robber in Boston that the town is written out. That guy got too high on meth, and that's why heroin. Hey, that guy was shooting heroin and going to rob banks. That's how they got caught, because he was too fucking high.
Out. Yeah, just couldn't fucking do his. Jesus Christ, man.
Why would you do that?
That's insane. What is wrong with you? Yeah.
Breaking the law and being hammered on anything while doing it is crazy.
So Porter's a decent hitman. He's like, you're too high. We're calling this off and doing it another time.
BG stoned.
That's fucking amazing. He's also, Porter, accused of a pair of brazen armed robberies that netted $134,000 cash from Capital One branches.
Really?
In New Orleans and Metairie, whatever the fuck that is. I can't ever say that word. The one robbery there, August 26, 2011, Porter and 3 other men first met at his house on South Liberty Street, where Porter handed out guns to the other 2 men. That's Carter and Brian Bino Hayes, who's the guy who testifies later. Porter then held an assault rifle as the group pointed their weapons at tellers and customers, according to the police statement from Bino later on. Bino and a second driver in a getaway car were outside. They drove off with a pile of money, but the die packs exploded. So Urkel veered into a curb and caused a flat tire.
Right.
So then they had to call and get picked up, covered in fucking ink and money. Oh my God. So picked them up. They took the ink-stained money to a laundromat and tried to wash it in washing machines.
It doesn't work, you
to
guys.
Get the ink off.
You can't get that out.
Oh my God! So then they took the pink cash. At this point, it still looked. Yeah, right. They took it to Harrah's and fucking put it in slot machines and put it into the change machines that give you change for the slots. So they just laundered it that way. Yeah. Put it in machines. Machines don't give a shit if it's pink.
Right.
They're not going to notice.
See it.
Nope. Done. As long as it's got that strip in it, done. So
wow.
That's what they did. They're accusing him of half dozen bank robberies, Urkel, as well. This motherfucker is ballsy, man. He is really fucking ballsy.
He truly does not give a shit. He's willing to chance everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the third federal case against him is the Christopher Tiger Smith murder. Nemo's car wash was on Tulane Avenue, by the way, for anybody in New Orleans. That might mean something to them. I don't know. Now, they say that Urkel took 2 of Bates's cars as collateral until he got paid his $10,000.
The rental and the Mercedes?
The rental? No. The rental was just for a minute there. Until they figured something out. Then he gave him the Mercedes and a Corvette to hang on to.
Wow.
As collateral, which is fucking insane. This just gets weirder and fucking
Why don't you just sell one of those and give him the cash?
That's what I'm saying. Well, he's doing it like a hawk, like he's putting it in hock, like you hold it till I have the cash type of thing. Now, Porter in court, he refused. He freaked out in court. He said that he doesn't want his lawyers speaking to him. He refused to acknowledge that his lawyers represented him. In one hearing, bailiffs had to wrestle him out of the courtroom. In other ones, he would yell and scream at the judges, yell over the judges, claiming he's a victim of an unconstitutional prosecution. He said, quote, "My life is in danger," and Maurice Landrieu, I think that's the prosecutor, one of the brothers, one of the Landrieux is the mayor there. And Maurice Landrieu telling me to my face that he will see he will see to it that I will get the death penalty if I don't work for them, you know? And he told me the only one who could help me is Obama. To my face, ma'am. To my face. He said, only the president can help you now. Because it's a U.S. federal court. So the president shouldn't have anything to do with that. So no, probably not. Unless he wants to, give him a pardon.
Yeah.
But I don't know how if you'd pardon this guy. He continued on, and he said he was claiming Landrieu here. He said, quote, "And we will see to it with the power of the Landrieu administration that I, Walter Porter, will get the death sentence and I will die." He said that himself. And himself. And I've been traumatized ever since then, and I request to get taken from this bench, and it's unconstitutional what he is going to do to me. He said, I request to get taken from this designated area.
That's what trauma. You shot Several people.
This is traumatizing.
Hundreds of times.
Yeah.
A man telling you he's going to...
He's been mean to him, Jimmy.
Yeah. He told me he's going to try to kill me. You've killed so many people.
Oh, the one guy's underwear got caught on a pole, for Christ's sake. This is fucking crazy. So they just kind of put him in the mental institution for a while to see how it all would shake out, basically. He asked to meet with the U.S. attorney and to appear before the grand jury to air his grievances, Porter does. But he also rebuffed a prosecutor who commented at one of his court hearings that he has the right to represent himself. He said, "No, ma'am." That's what he told the judge. "No, ma'am, that's foolish of me to do so," and for him to even bring it up. Because the one prosecutor said, well, if he doesn't like his lawyers, if he keeps saying he doesn't want his lawyers, he can represent himself then.
Yeah.
And he said, "No, that's stupid. I wouldn't do that, dummy."
See, but that might be a play to see if he would recognize how dumb that is.
Yeah.
If he can say that would be foolish, you are the most sane
You're
person
very
on
fucking
earth.
sane.
You super get it.
Because you're saner than Ted Bundy and plenty of other people who tried to represent themselves here. So, it seems like they were, he said, quote, "Your Honor, I'm 100% sure what to do with Mr. Porter." This is the U.S. attorney. She said, "It's my impression that Mr. Porter is never going to be content unless he does it to himself." So now this all comes down and Nemo's name starts coming up because of the phone records and all this sort of shit. So he's kind of laying low and just kind of hiding out and car wash to home, peeking out the blinds, looking for a two-gun assassin to come up here.
Looking for his Mercedes or his Corvette to come around the corner.
Is that the Oh, shit, no. I thought it sounded like my Corvette, but it's not. Fuck, damn it. Okay, that's good. That means he's not here to kill me. That's good. That's good. He's not eating like he should be. You know what I mean? Because he's nervous and he's, who can it be now? He's looking out the window. He's got
digested a good meal in 6 weeks.
Man hasn't been able to digest a decent meal in 6 weeks. So he's sitting around. He doesn't know what to do. And luckily for him, there's a knock on the door. And it's exactly what he needs, Jimmy. It is exactly what he needs. It's Vinny Pazienza's ma. He needs a ma right now.
Sure does.
And she says... "How is it you've come to arrive here? Oh, my God, what's wrong with you, Nemo? It's such a cute name. Stop hanging out. You're hanging out with bad boys, Nemo. They're bad people. I could look out my window. I see the bad kids. They're the bad kids. What are you doing? Have you eaten? You're skinny. You're so skinny. Oh, my God, I brought a nice... Oh, here we go. I got man on God for you. Eat the whole tray. Nemo, eat it. Eat it, Nemo. No, don't give any to your friends. They're just going to take it and be all fueled up to murder more people. Stop it. Stop hanging out with these people. You're a good boy. What's wrong with you, huh? Gee, I didn't raise you like this, Nemo. Please, you're killing your mother. Oh, my God." Poof. In a cloud of marinara sauce and manicotti, her head explodes from energy consumption. And she goes, "This is an Italian mother's worst nightmare. You're hanging out with bad boys doing bad things. Oh, no." It's fucking great. So... Nemo's charges here, because he's going to be charged and arrested once they talk to him, and his excuses are terrible. And of why does this guy have your car? Why do you lend your car, not only your car, but a rental car to a known murderer? Why is that? He is facing charges of solicitation to commit murder, use of interstate commerce facilities in the commission of a murder for hire, and 2 different firearms counts as well.
Oh, no.
Yeah. U.S. Assistant U.S. Attorney, she says, Christopher Smith never saw his killer. He never saw Nemesis Bates because Nemesis Bates had someone else do his dirty work for him. No doubt Porter and Aaron are bad people in this instance, but Bates killed his friend Christopher Smith. This was nothing more than a business transaction. They called him a vengeful shot caller whose downfall was failing to come up with the cash. Now, if he would have just had the cash immediately, there wouldn't have been 7 phone calls, wouldn't have been getting pulled over in cars. Unless Porter said something, would have been no way to connect him to that shit.
Right.
Porter ain't saying shit about nothing, so you'd have been good. Instead, this idiot not paying the guy the fuck off ends up bringing a huge line of trail of evidence to him, and now he's fucked. His attorney says, well, how do I get out of this one? He says Nemo, actually, you don't know this, but in reality, Nemo is a victim of extortion.
Tell me how.
Well, let me tell you, Aaron Beatty and Urkel, they killed this guy and then told Bates, you got to pay us to do that now.
Okay.
Bates didn't ask for it. They just did it on spec. It's like those guys that paint the numbers on the curb outside your house and then ask you for $15. That's essentially what they did.
They pop up and paint it and then be like, what do you think? Mm-hmm. No, it'll be $20.
It's a spec murder. That's all it is. Maybe he'll want this. So during his trial, there's 9 women and 3 men in his jury for Nemo here. Nemo's jury. Judging Nemo is a different... Should the name of this be Judging Nemo, Jailing Nemo, or Incarcerating Nemo? I don't know why.
Found Nemo?
Yeah, Found Nemo. Now, Aaron Smith, Beatty here, he is going to be a big witness here because he's totally flipped on this whole thing, I believe, if I'm not mistaken here. He pled guilty in 2013 to a charge of causing death through the use of a firearm, which sounds like murder to me.
Yeah.
That sounds exactly like murder. In exchange, prosecutors took the death penalty off the table, and he's going to testify before he's sentenced, and he even says in court, hoping for leniency.
Praying for leniency.
Exactly. He said that on the stand. So Bates is being tried by himself here about this whole deal. They said also that there was another murder here. Bates was on trial. His former co-defendant testified here. This is Beatty about the another murder that they said happened several months later from a guy named Anthony Wilmore who died in June 2011. He was Bates's former girlfriend's ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
And they think that something happened with that. Bates was scrambling for money to pay some shit off, and he only had $2,000 with him, and somehow this guy got caught up in it and got killed in this whole deal. I don't understand how the fuck that happened. So people are just getting shot way too much here. Now,
New Orleans was fucking wild for like 10, 15 years.
Crazy. This post-Katrina shit's nuts.
Yeah.
So Porter, they said that Nemo here got a car for Urkel and Beatty to drive here. Bates also got the rental car for Porter to drive at first, for Urkel to drive. They got Aaron Smith, Beatty Smith, up on the stand and had the phone records all laid out of the phone calls to Nemo and said, what are all these phone calls? So he went through each phone call. Said that's what this was, that's what that was. He said, quote, this is Beatty, quote, I could tell that he was excited. He was happy. I knew that he actually killed the dude, he said. He said, call that boy Bates and tell him to have my money. That's Porter. Porter had called him and said it was all. So he's the guy saying that that's the connection. It's all Beatty's, the guy in the middle. So Bates's defense attorney says that there was nobody telling these guys to do it. You don't have to tell Urkel and Beatty to kill people. They just kill people. This is bullshit.
That's what they do.
This is what they do. Then they're going to try to rob. This is probably how they make their money. They kill people and tell someone, we'll kill you if you don't pay us for killing that guy that you didn't like. Take that. They said, look at his criminal history. He's terrible. He's a fucking opportunist. He's disgusting. He's an awful, awful man. They said that, but Beatty said, nope, the killing was just about the money. We don't kill people for free. He said that, well, I don't anyway. He said that Bates ordered the hit, and, that's what happened. He said, I'd get half the money even though I had an ankle monitor on and couldn't do it. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. And they said, well, would you do it for that kind of money? And he said, quote, this is Beatty, in the neighborhood I grew up in, people kill for free. It's like $20,000. That's handsome. It's a good offer. Usually a hit is like 5 even.
I'll do it for way less.
Oh, yeah. So he said, yeah, this is great. I get 10, don't even have to do shit. My God. Then the Bates's attorneys then switches to the tactic of who, quote, no one is going to hire a hitman without having any money.
Okay.
Who would be that terrible at this? He then says about Nemo, his bank account is zero. He has fancy cars, but the cars are hot. He has no money to pay for these hitmen, thus the fear.
Wait, did he just admit that my client steals cars?
Yeah. He works at he does the car wash. He buys and sells hot cars. That's a totally different issue, though. Don't worry about that. He doesn't have any money to kill anybody. That's crazy. Hot cars. Who gives a shit? Wow. So, Jesus Christ. They also, the defense talks to Beatty while he's on the stand in cross-examination, talking to him about a certain case where he fired into a crowd outside the Gator Bait Lounge in Gretna before fleeing from police and jumping 30 feet from a bridge.
Wow, he's desperate.
And they said, didn't bother you one bit that you were shooting at random strangers in a crowd? And he said, quote, I was on drugs. He said he was on drugs at the time of the alleged hit job as well, but he said there's no doubt that Bates called the hit on Tiger Smith and never backed away, even after Tiger Smith confronted Bates at the car wash, saying he was aware Bates had placed a bounty on his head. So Tiger said, I heard you're trying to kill me. What the fuck? And he said, no, man, I ain't trying to kill you, and then had him killed.
That's some cold-blooded shit.
Yeah. Beatty also said he never told me or Walter Porter not to kill Christopher Smith. That's the reason he didn't call the police. That's the reason he didn't call the police. The police are nothing like that after we killed him. If he would have called it off, we wouldn't have did it, because if he would have called it off, that means he wasn't going to pay us. It was about the money. Yeah.
All right.
This
He didn't tell us not to do it. We did it because we thought there was money being paid to us.
It's a funny line, though. He never told me or Walter Porter not to kill Christopher Smith. Do you have to tell your friends who not to kill in the world? Hey, don't kill most everybody, could you? Thanks. So Nemo seems fucked, right? He seems pretty bad. I mean, these people, this is a crazy fucking thing. Like, if you're a family member and your guy walked out of his house and got shot 28 times, that's terrible. You feel bad for him, don't you? You kind of feel bad. But not nearly as bad as I feel for... there's no Nemesis Bates other than this one. Come on.
Of course not.
Give me a fucking break. You think there's any more of these? No, absolutely not. Now, Nemesis's ex-girlfriend, Nemo's ex-girlfriend, testifies.
Oh?
Uh-oh. Yeah, Dory coming back to bite him in the ass here.
She remembered?
She did. You got to get her real quick, though. She said that Bates did admit to me that he did hire someone to kill Tiger, and that she once sat in a car when Bates talked about Aaron Smith and Porter. He said, quote, those are the killers. He talked to them. He said the light-skinned one, Porter, he's crazy.
He tells everybody that he knows killers.
Everybody. That not only that those are the killers that work for me. Isn't that neat? Nemo testifies on his own behalf, though. Mm-hmm. He said, no. Absolutely not. During it, though, his testimony's fucking terrible. He says he's fighting for his life right now and all that sort of thing. He claimed on the stand that every witness who testified against him, FBI agents, his former girlfriend, her friends, other people, everybody, all of them, a person in jail who he told everything, they're all liars. Everybody there is a fucking liar. He claims he's not a violent person at all.
No.
As a matter of fact, and had no idea that Beatty Smith and Urkel Porter had orchestrated a hit on Tiger Smith until they came calling for cash 2 days after the killings. He said, oh, my God, that's crazy. They just popped in. He said they did it on their own. Then they harangued him for weeks over payment. It's extortion. Yeah, they squeezed him for the proceeds from his car wash, and they left him in fear of his life if he told anyone about it.
Okay.
He said, quote, Smith and Mr. Porter came to the car wash. We stepped into the room and Porter told me that I didn't even know his name. He told me he had done me a favor and that I owe him some money. I told him for what? He said, the death of Tiger. I told him, that's the guy who stole from me. I really have no money. My exact words.
He stole from me, you guys.
By my exact
words. I don't have
words.
anything. He took it.
Oh, my God. Then he says, the phone calls he had with Aaron Smith, they asked him about all of that. He said, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything. I don't know what you mean. They said, well, then why'd you rent a car for all that? And he said, it wasn't a form of collateral. It was just doing a guy a favor. I'm just a nice guy. That's how nice I am. He said,
they did me a favor. I figured I should do them a favor, even Steven.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, back unsolicited favors, back and forth. He said that, Aaron Smith had heard about me talking about Tiger because I was mad about Tiger, so Beatty had heard about me. But then once I heard he was killed from Aaron, he said that he was, quote, crushed. He was crushed about it.
No, I'm going to have to drive the car.
Oh, he was crushed. He said that, he said that Tiger Smith also, yes, did confront him about a rumor that he ordered a hit on him. He said, of course I didn't order a hit on him. Absolutely not. That's just ridiculous. Then he says one of the dumbest things ever, so it has to be in their own words here. Because to say this on the stand is really dumb. In their own words, quote, I was crying, and I couldn't hide it. I'm a very emotional person, period. I wouldn't hire a hitman. First of all, I'm the one that called the police about the theft. You don't call the police on someone you want dead. You'd be the first suspect. It's common sense. Yeah, you'd think that, wouldn't you? That's the thing.
That's why we're here, man.
You'd think you'd go, oh, wow, I can't kill that guy because I already called the cops on him. Shit, I guess I'm out that money and jewelry. That's what you'd think.
No, now I'm out a rental car and 2 cars and possibly my freedom.
Yeah. He said he was so sad once he heard they did this for him. He said, quote, I wanted to go home and kill myself. I was that afraid. Nemo was. He said, it went from 0 to 60 that quick. I didn't know how I got myself in that situation. I was just crying. I didn't know what to do. I was so scared for my life. Oh, man. He was questioned about the killing by detectives and was arrested by the FBI. Yeah. He never, by the way, up until testimony, he never brought up this extortion scheme. He just said, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Now it was a big extortion. Yeah. So then he said that he explained that, he just distrusted the police. That's why he didn't tell them about the extortion scheme. He didn't think they would listen to him. He said, quote, I believed in Porter more than y'all, the police officers. Uh-huh. Yeah, the guy with the 2 guns. He said, I was afraid for my life. I would have given them anything they wanted because none of that stuff is even important to me. So he said he turned over a Benz and a Corvette and all this shit. They also said, then they asked him, well, what about your collection of jewelry? What about that? You were so scared of Walter Porter and B.D. Smith that you wanted to go home and kill yourself? And he says, I didn't have a chance to pay them anything. I knew I was dead. And they said, you wouldn't hawk your jewelry to pay them? And he said, I have to show them I have no income. It was keeping me alive at the time. I did not tell them about my jewelry because I felt I did not deserve this. Okay. He felt he was being wrong, so he's going to lie to 2 killers who obviously are trying to extort him. That's his story.
Smart move.
This is, that was common sense, Jimmy. Common sense. So the verdict is he is found guilty of solicitation to commit a crime of violence, solicitation to use interstate commerce facilities in the commission of a murder for hire, causing death through use of a firearm, and conspiracy to possess firearms. Now, during the sentencing, his attorney tried to portray him as he called him a scared child at one point, then he called him, quote, a very helpless little child, very harmless but helpless.
Or a vengeful business owner who has failed at everything and wanted his shit back.
Who's also 35 years old. He's not a child. This is
no.
fucking bonkers here. So they call him that. The U.S. attorney says, quote, he's not a childlike bumbling idiot. He's a manipulating, conniving liar. There you go. That sums it up, I think.
He's not a childlike victim. He's a cunt.
He's a fucking twat. So then he said, here's our Nemesis's last, please don't put me away. He says, quote, I've been having no father, no lover, no friend. Father, lover? You go from father to lover? Those are the 2 things you're looking for? No father, no lover, no friend. I didn't have anybody in my corner. Nobody at all. All I want to do is help myself. I'm not a child. I ran a successful business with dirty people under me. I've never had a problem. That's all it is. And the judge says, well, you have a problem now. You, sir, may spend life in a designated area. Enjoy.
With fences and razor wire determining the designation.
That's you. You'll know the designations here. It's more than tape on the floor. Guys in towers with shotguns will make sure that you're aware.
If you forget, they'll remind you.
Your designation's going to be about 6 by 9, so not a very big designation for a while. So 2015, Porter is still, that shit's still going on. He's still in a facility over this whole deal. During the Porter trial here, prosecutors go through the whole Aaron Smith thing. They say that the prosecutors there say the police didn't do anything. Christopher Smith was never arrested for it, Tiger. So Mr. Bates took matters into his own hands and decided to get even in his own way by using Urkel. Then they talk about Porter's case. Urkel's case is like 4 murders, 5 bank robberies.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's a whole thing here. The U.S. attorney said, quote, "The defendant sitting before you today is a good businessman. He has partners. He provides a service in which there's a market, and he earns thousands of dollars doing it. The service he provides is killing. Walter Porter is willing to kill people for money." And he did. And the defense said, he won't even talk to us. He won't. He is, quote, "completely refusing to meet with his lawyers. He won't do anything." He calls the B.D. Smith untrustworthy. That's what their lawyers try to say. He's an untrustworthy linchpin of the government's case. He's the one who communicated between everybody. Why are we blaming our guy when he's the one doing this? Yeah, this is ridiculous. He said, they said, quote, "He's no stranger to them. The question is whether he's the one who entered into an agreement with Nemesis Bates and whether or not he pulled the trigger." So then he said, "They have witnesses that just cannot be trusted. While there's a lot of smoke here, there isn't a fire."
Oh, okay.
No fire. Let me tell you that. No fire. So, yeah, they go through all of them. Curtis Matthews, Tiger Smith, bank robberies. You name it, it's in here. They said he has firsthand knowledge. They bring up Tutu. Jesse Tutu Reed, obviously, is involved. There's several witnesses testifying against him. One woman says, quote, "He made a comment of how he felt." What a person talks about how the people in the neighborhood knew who killed Reed because, quote, "there were so many shell casings or markings on the ground. They had a lot of cones out there. So when the police came with the index cards folded over them,
right,
they could
obvious
see
who did it. Yeah,
they're like, that's the whole neighborhood knows then when that happened." She said the next day, Porter was bragging about the killing as he held a handgun and kissed it. Wow. He, quote, "he was saying this bitch hadn't let him down yet, and he made a gesture to kiss the weapon."
Oh, boy.
That's it. There you go. So it's a lot, man. They described him as trying to get in with Telly Hankton. His goal was to do jobs with him and get in with the good crime boss here. He was an aspiring criminal. That's literally what he was. They said he had hoped to build a relationship with Telly so he could have a consistent daily supply of drugs. He had hoped to move out of the city, live his own life. That's what his lawyer said. He just wanted to make some money to get out of here. He didn't want to kill anybody.
It's too many mosquitoes. He just wanted to go home.
Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. So he wants to have the fact that he was pulled over and talked to thrown out of court as well, because they said he got pulled over for no reason. Why should he be there? So he is found guilty. Yeah, Porter. You, sir, may fuck off life without for Mr. Urkel here.
We won't even bother with death penalty. And that shit overturned. You just get out of here forever.
They said, "Yes, sir, you did do that." And then they put him away. That's how it goes. "I declare you did, in fact, do that, Mr. Urkel. Goodbye." So 2016 is the Telly Hankton trial. Okay? 13 defendants charged in this indictment. Here.
Jesus.
They are Urkel. They are Andre Hankton, known as Reese, Nakia Hankton, Shirley Hankton, Telly Hankton, a.k.a. Third, Wild, or Red, Thomas Hankton, a.k.a. Squirt, Troy Hankton, who was the cousin who was on LSU's team, George Jackson, a.k.a. Black, Kevin Jackson, a.k.a. Kev. That's not very creative.
Nope.
Nethany Schexnader. Is that the guy on the team?
Nethany
Schexnader. Schexnader's the same last name of the guy who got hit with the fucking helmet, who started that. We're going back.
That's too much of a.
I'm on 40 or 40th. Okay, I got to go back and see this now. That's too. That's a guy from his fucking football team, the Homa team.
How do you spell it?
Schexnader. I'm going to see if it's the same guy. I have to see this. This is fucking insane. Okay, here we go. Here is the fight
with an X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it? No, that's not there. Where is goddamn Schexnader? Come on. Oh, here we go. Sorry, everybody. This is too. No, this is Clint Schexnader, a different Schexnader.
Wow.
Who the fuck would have thought that shit? That is wild.
It's got to be his family, right?
I don't know. Maybe that's a popular. Maybe that's big down there. I don't know.
There's another one in the arena football named Calvin Schexnader.
Maybe there's just a lot of Schexnaders in New Orleans.
Maybe
I'm not sure. Derek Smothers, a.k.a. Dump.
Gross.
And Terrell Smothers. The Smothers brothers are there. That's nice. Terrell and Derek. This is Dump Smothers and his brother Terrell's. It's a different kind of variety
they
show.
Actually got legitimate Smothers brothers.
The Smothers brothers are on trial for terrible things here. Jesus Christ.
Incredible.
And Sana Johnson. The U.S. attorney here said, this is the same U.S. attorney every time, by the way, you're going to be swamped with the depravity committed by this organization. The indictment is a lengthy diary of what these people did to control their drug distribution activities, their neighborhood, and even the criminal justice system so that they could operate without any fear. But the government's evidence is going to destroy the clean slate these 4 men sit here with today. Even while everybody's in jail, there's still all sorts of killings here. August 2014, everyone's in jail.
Oh, my.
Kareem K. Ice Peters was found dead and shot up in an Acura in a New Orleans East complex. Peters was the man who'd been shot and wounded by Telly Hankton in 2007 after they ran into each other at the Snowball place. He's the guy who was with Reed to begin with.
Came around and got him again anyway.
Yeah, later that same year, that Peters guy murdered George Cup Hankton, who's Telly's first cousin, and then, this whole thing. Now, December 2014, Maurice Sparkman was shot dead on a Central City balcony after he'd made the mistake of robbing 2 Hanktons who were running an underground dice game.
Dear Lord.
Jesus Christ. Julius Hankton would plead guilty to manslaughter and get 40 years in prison. Hankton's, wow, this is a lot. This fucking guy's a mess, man. Now, they also have, in this, he appeared in a music video for Christopher B.G. Dorsey.
Of course.
Who's his buddy. They're trying to put them together as well, who is now was in prison at this time.
Of course he is.
Quote, an imprisoned former Cash Money Records rapper who started out with Lil Wayne and Juvenile and Turk in the rap group The Hot Boys.
He was part of Cash Money,
Yep. And Telly was in a video of his. Telly was such a New
Telly
Orleans.
was in a fucking Cash Money video?
Yes. Oh, no. Porter Urkel was in one with him because they grew up together.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Which one? I want to look at that video.
He appears in a video titled Guilty by Association.
There you go.
I guess he raises up to his fingers don't shh, one of those. Dorsey has an arm draped around Porter's neck and raps, N-words get hit 50 times because my N-word Mooney around. Because that's his other nickname.
Oh, my God.
He actually shouts Porter out in a fucking song.
And says he shoots people 50 fucking times.
Yeah, because they know. In a song.
Wow.
So that
straight gangsters. I'm terrified of
they play
all
this.
of those guys now. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to book New Orleans next year, by the way.
No. I'm staying the fuck away from Birdman and his posse.
They are
bad dudes. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't want any part of this shit. So there's also a dirty cop involved in this. Desmond Pratt, a former New Orleans Police Department homicide detective. That's rare. You get a dirty homicide guy. Usually they weed them out by then. Homicide's like the last step of we trust you enough to figure out who killed this person.
Right.
He's the subject of a federal civil rights probe, accused of spoon-feeding informants with details about crimes in order to identify targeted subjects in return for favors to the informants.
Yeah.
He is accused of laying out the story to 2 people and offering them, one of them cash and an SKS rifle in a trade for false statements about Reed's murder. Pratt is he's in prison for 3 years. He took the 5th and didn't want to testify about anything here. That's how that worked. So the FBI had been investigating this forever, obviously, as we know about. They said that's Telly Hankton. Federal prosecutors allege in a list of 101 overt acts under the main racketeering charge.
Oh, boy.
They also say Porter fired on Hassan Williams with 2 of the same .40 caliber pistols that were used to kill Reed. Police ballistic reports also show that a 9mm pistol used in Reed's killing was fired in 3 other homicides and 2 shootings, including the attack on John Matthews and his recliner as well. So, also, federal authorities cited a confidential informant who claims that in 2011, after Hankton ends up being convicted for murder, Urkel and another man followed around the district attorney, Cannizzaro.
Why would you do that?
They followed him to his Lakeview home and to a French Quarter business while targeting the DA and his daughter as well, who is an assistant DA, quote, to be killed.
Get them both.
They're going to hit the DA. I think that would make it worse,
That's
probably.
Insane.
Yeah, these guys are just trying to fucking take over. It's it's fucking ridiculous, man. So they got a cell phone data on him, and the confidential informant indicated that Porter and Beatty had conducted surveillance and followed the district attorney to his Lakewood residence and to an establishment within the last 10 days. They got a warrant for the whole deal. That's how that ended up going down. So it's fucking obviously crazy. You're going to put a hit out on the DA?
Yeah,
you fucking nuts. So it's a 3-week federal trial, and Telly Hankton is found guilty of 3 counts of murder and aid of racketeering for the deaths of Darvin Bessie, Darnell Stewart, and Jesse Reed. And he receives, you, sir, may certainly fuck off, life without the possibility of parole.
Is that right?
Yeah, Telly is in forever. He's done. 2017, Nemo appeals based on the fact that he says he didn't do it. That's his appeals. And they're like, Nemo, bro.
You gotta admit and fucking apologize at this point, dude. You're convicted.
We're gonna set you off from here and see if you can swim yourself to cell block D all by yourself. What do you say? Get on down there. Can't get enough of Nemo?
I've had enough.
Too bad. He's in prison. Everybody's in prison, and there's about that. So you can watch an old LSU game and maybe get a highlight of him returning a punt. That's about all you're going to get.
Jewelry ruined his life.
That's it. Just some money and jewelry. That's it.
Wow.
Crazy shit. So that's fucking insane.
Threw nothing away for nothing.
Because it's so easy to get somebody killed. You could just do it that easy. Yeah. So, but why you don't even have the money to do it?
Yeah, but when you're surrounded by straight gangsters that literally are ruthless killers, I guess you want to be part of that? I don't know.
Well, he knew all these guys, hung out with these guys, knew these guys. We don't know what the fuck he was doing besides all this too. Who knows, man? This is crazy. He had cars and all his jewelry. Think he was getting that from fucking the car wash?
Yeah.
They said the car wash wasn't profitable. So
right. There's a guy who coaches Cortez Hankton. Is he related? He's got to be,
maybe
right?
Down there, there's so many Hanktons down there.
Dude,
this family. It's a huge family.
He's the wide receivers coach for LSU. He went to James. He went to that high school,
St. Augustine.
He's from
There you go. That's how they all know each other.
Got to be related.
Everybody's from the same area, so it's fucking crazy. Either way, you like that story, tell the world about it. Get on whatever app you're listening on, whatever one, it doesn't matter. Apple Podcast does help us with those charts because people look at those. They're helpful. Give us 5 stars. It does help a lot. And say how much you fucking love the show. Not for our ego, just for the help to the show. Check us out on social media at Murder. This is Crime and Sports. At Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook. At Small Town Murder on Instagram as well. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your tickets and merchandising needs. Wow, the tickets. October the 27th, we have a virtual live show coming straight to your fucking living room, everybody.
What a deal.
What a deal. It's available for a whole week afterwards, so you can get it that day, and then you could watch it every day for a week. You can watch it as much as you want. You could watch it 5 days later. Do whatever the fuck you want to do with it. Put it that way.
You needn't leave your house.
You needn't leave your house. Anywhere in the world you want. Shutupandgivememurder.com or Moment House, or just Moment, I'm sorry. Moment.co small town murder / small town murder, not dash. Moment.co / small town murder. Just go to shutupandgivememurder.com. Just go to our site. What are you going to go somewhere else for? Just go there, get your tickets. Also, get your tickets to regular actual live shows as well. We will be at the Tampa Improv September 23rd for 2 shows that night. Those are 2 different shows too. So if you want to see both, feel free. We'll give them to you. Not like we'll go get the fuck out. You already saw one. Go. You leave now. Orlando the next night, the 24th. 2 shows in Orlando. Get your tickets. Come on. Can't wait to see you. We're coming out to hang with everybody. Yeah. Definitely, we're going to have a blast in that. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you're going to get all of the bonus episodes. And I'll tell you what, $5 anybody $5 a month or more, you can do whatever you want, whatever you feel worthy of, but $5 to get all the bonus shit, that's a cup of coffee. You're going to get tons of bonus stuff. You're going to get 2 new episodes every other week, and you're going to get to see the whole back catalog, hundreds of episodes, or 100-something bonus episodes, tons of stuff. This week, what you're going to get, and it's a crime and sports bonus, small town murder bonus. You get it all.
The whole thing.
Whole thing. This week for crime and sports, you're going to get Sex Scandals Part 3.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard 1 and 2, Whoa, listen to this shit. It is crazy stuff. It lingered into part 3 because it's that funny. So put it that way. It's so funny we couldn't get through it in time.
I want to meet her.
Yeah, definitely just have a chat, see what's up.
I don't want to meet her. I want
No.
Phone is fine.
Yeah.
Text. I want to talk to this girl.
Emails
She's
are
crazy.
good.
She's so fun.
For Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about mafia members. So we're going to go mafia and mix that with the fact that some of these guys are actually serial killers who are just happen to be in the mafia and found a pretty good cover for being a serial killer. The best serial killer cover you can get is being in the mafia.
Found a way to get paid.
They put up a wall of marinara and you can't see through it. And it's just found a way to get paid for it. Yeah, Ted Bundy didn't get paid for that shit.
No.
I assume a lot of it, too, is because it's not sexually based. That helps, too. They just need to kill people and carve them up. Yeah, we really go after people who fuck, decapitated heads. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So either way, mafia serial killers, we're going to talk about some real bad guys in there with some high body counts and some gross shit. It'll be very funny. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And you'll get your damn shout out, which is coming up in a moment. Also get that shout out on PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. Right. That said, Jimmy, please, never ever, or please hit me with the names of the people who would never, ever kill me because they think I stole some jewelry from them, even though they didn't mind, or people that would send us to a designated area. Hit me with them now.
This week's executive producers are Corporal Carl Kirshner. See you in Wisconsin, Corporal Carl.
Beautiful. Well, by the time this comes
he's
out,
excited. Yeah, he's excited about it. JB Anyeti Shetty in Canada, Regina Kudajarov, Lisa Dutton, Brooke Crawford, Hunter Duchesne, and BJ Cyprian. She's new. She's an author, by the way.
Why?
Down in Texas. Thank you all so much for everything. Other producers this week are Peyton Meadows, Stacy Sengel, Captain Lou Albino, Barry Mark and the Shitsteins, Amanda Granieri, Willis Tanya, giving it to us both ways. Beaver and Drunk Nicole, and also Baby Kit. Happy Hour checking in Panama City Beach, Florida. That's a terrible, that should be Panama Beach City. Shouldn't be Panama City Beach. That sounds gross.
It does sound a city
Panama
beach.
Yeah, Panama City Pool. That's vile. That's disgusting.
Yeah, Panama City Sewer. It doesn't sound good.
Morgan Dugan, Janice Hill, Chester Copperpot. You know who that is. That is Danny DeVito's character from Batman, correct? Yes. Right?
Copperpot. Yeah.
Nope, that's
right.
Oswald Copperpot. Who's Chester Copperpot?
Is that something from the Goonies?
Sure. Yes, it is. Is it? Is that?
No.
Yes.
I don't know.
One-Eyed Willie and Chester Copperpot. That sounds right.
Sounds
Oswald
right. That sounds like
Jesus. Christopher Hickey, Nashville. Steve Earle said hello.
Hey, beautiful.
I apologize, Chris. I didn't know that you were saying woo in reference to James's woo.
Yeah.
I thought you were just being a drunk lunatic.
Yeah, wasn't even drunk. That was the funny part.
Yeah.
Totally sober and fine.
He's a sober, fun guy.
Met him afterwards. Nice guy.
Thanks,
Fine.
Chris.
Thank you.
Jimmy Secret Sauce Wisman, Jorge Madrano, Alex Hopper. He liked the J.R. Smith episode. Thanks, Alex.
Well, great.
Or she. Jesus, who knows?
Either way, yeah. Thank you.
Kinsley Colclisher. Nope, probably not. Sharon would know last name. Roman Jacobo. Darcy would know last name. Jimmy Lane. Cole would know last name. Katarina Fry. Hannah Govednik. Donna would know last name. Timothy Parker. Doug Kazor, I think. Jocelyn Gordon. Matt Ring. Mena Lloyd, Marty Fortier, Amy Ann, Hannah Bell, Kayla Counts, Brantley Clark, AJ Ostrins, Chris, you can fuck this up. Yes, I can. Stump. Danny Dyson, Georgia Caitlin, Keith with no last name, Danny Octavia, Helen Dubois, Mercury Muse, Tina Cook, Troy Natter, Holly Soden, Val Willett, Ariana Keller, Terry Tana, Lori Johnson, Corinne Hill, Keith Alden Baker, Mike Hodson, Brittany Hohoff, Parker Keenan, Yvette Juhas. Oh, boy. Hannah Garcia, Christina Hamlin, Kim Smith, April Schiavone, Eric Suchin, Jesse Shearer, Joe Crossley, Edward LeBlond, Andy Pagan, Julie Coda, Tina York, Robert Fuentes. Is that Fuentes? I may have written that wrong.
You were flowing so hard. Man.
I know. B and also a U. Thomas Giles, maybe. Jackson with no last name. Desiree and Andrew McKinney, Matthew Hansen, Abby Feek, Matthew Murphy, Kyle Garner, Brian McCauley. I wonder if that's related to that space lady. Maybe. Jameson with no last name. Nicole with no last name. Bill with no. Sorry to bring up maybe the worst memory in your fucking life, Brian.
That's my mom. Jesus Christ. Sorry, bro.
Bill was space, and I called her Space Lady. Jesus.
Yeah, I can still see pieces of her sprinkling down to the ocean. That's horrible.
What a piece of shit.
God, I hope not. Now I feel
Jordan
even worse.
Hicks, Amanda Dalton, Tiffany Aberflus, Alicia Ward, Louise Martinek, Haley Smith, Elizabeth Carpenter, Artley Goodhart. Oh, boy.
Good and hard.
Kyle Carter, Crystal Blaze, Blair Clark, Dominique Lieb, Daisy with no last name, Bobson Dugout, James, I can't pronounce it. Laura, that's how I'm going to pronounce every last name I can't pronounce. They're just I can't pronounce it. Laura Klein, Courtney Eve, Sebastian Ann Betty, Kristen Taylor, Jeremy Wagner, Corey Engel, Slip Stitch, Corey with no last name, Jessica Rice, Jake Blank, Crystal with no last name, Maggie with no last name, Kelly Bosley, Creekside Custom Pavers Smith, Allie Linton, Jessica Stember, Beth Ann Carvin, David Evers, Zach with no last name, Colin Maxey, Elliot Reinston, Krista Mallory, Kelly Frederick, Mackenzie with no last name, Jack Blackwell, you were almost there to fame, you son of a, I'm sorry, Jack. Yeah. We already got one. Danielle Straughter, Connie Bonner, Layla with no last name, Azari Stevens, Samuel Carr, Kate Bauer, Luis Cerna, Project DQ, Adam Rowley, Dominic Forbes, Kyle M., Brandy Aubrey, Mackenzie McGuire, Taryn Malloy, Lim, Kotraba Hofer, Matthew Hickory Hansen, Nikita Weil, Jocelyn Whiting, yes, Frank, Danielle Green, Afton Scott, Tariro M, Christine Lester, Liz Phillips, King Tiger Killer 415.
Wow.
Oh boy. Bray Breedlove, Bray maybe, it's probably Bree, I don't know. Ryan Wolf, Barb and Bob, Mother Tucker, Chris Zimmer, Stephen Hoff, Sammy Fitter? I can't pronounce it. Mark Frylock, Todd Beck, Julie McCullough, Francis, Kyle, that's Kelly Y, Fred Shingles, Silent 113, Marlene Gainey, Megan Turner, Bailey Buchert, Sarah Garrison, Megan Higgins, Christina Park, Janet N., Brandy Weddle, Maddie Campbell, Jennifer Fix, I hope, J.R. Walters, Mimi Tucker, Kate Ann Chant, Clay Verdon, and also all of our patrons. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. You crazy, wonderful bastards. We love you so much. Thank you for what you do for us. Hope you're enjoying the content. And like we said on the thing, this will be the last sex scandal episode in the series for Crime and Sports. We'll get another one going. It'll be another more crazy shit after that. But this is so nuts. It deserved 3 episodes. Sorry about that. So either way, thank you for hanging with us. Thank you for everything. If you want to follow us on social media, very easy. Just go to shutupandgivememurder.com. The links are there. Or just Google Crime and Sports Podcast Host. We should be the only ones, I would fucking hope. So either way, find us, hang out with us, keep coming back next time because we're going to be here, God damn it, live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.